Okay, I will. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the House of High Strangeness podcasts. We are your hosts. I'm Joe.
And I'm Rockwell.
She's Rockwell Rachel.
I'm Rachel. I don't know.
At work, I'll be calling her Raphael.
Rockwell.
And, yeah. Hell yeah. We got the shits. I got to get this pulled up. This is going to be a big one.
This is going to be a big episode.
Dude.
There's a reason why it's taken a few months for us to post it. Because I just kept finding more.
Yeah.
And more to give you guys.
Yeah, dude. So just get this out of the way. Make sure to follow us on our Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube.
Yeah.
Give us a rating on Apple Music and Spotify and anywhere you listen to your podcasts. We should be there. If not, let us know. And what else am I missing? Listener lore?
Yeah.
Send in your stories to listenerlore@houseofhighstrangeness@gmail.com.
Yeah. They could be true events or they could be something made up.
Mm-hmm.
Just whatever you think would like to be on the...
On the
I don't know. It's been a minute. Okay, I need to get back in the groove.
Hell yeah.
But get featured. That's it.
Yeah. Nothing more comfortable being here.
In the House of High Strangeness.
In the House of High Strangeness. So you guys, this is going to be a really long episode. So, get going on your chores and whatnot. Pop this shit in. Or just sit down, get a warm beverage, and let's freaking go, dude. Yeah,
this is a big topic. Obviously, you've read on the episode. You clicked on that it's the Alaska Triangle. This is a big topic with lots of moving pieces. And if I did every single thing to the max, like the deepest dive, it would be like 48 hours long. So,
let's, we should do that at some point.
Yeah, just a very, very long episode. It's not even multiple parts. It's just one long episode.
Yeah, hell yeah. And surprisingly, Rachel compressed it somehow.
Yeah, I did. So, I don't really know how to...
So it starts in Alaska. I've heard of I've heard
of Alaska.
I've heard of Alaska. I've heard of a lot of triangles. Of course, when you think of triangle, you think of Bermuda.
Yes.
I also recently heard about forgive me if I'm wrong, the California Triangle, or there's a specific name and it's in California for the triangle there. But yeah, we're covering the Alaska Triangle. From what I've heard, the small snippets, Rachel's been like, oh my God, I just have to tell you this.
Yeah, I'm like shaking, convulsing.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just in the car and the whole entire car ride. She's like, and then this happens and then this. I'm like, dude, you got to stop because then I won't have anything to like be surprised by.
Yeah. I mean, like there's been multiple times where I'll walk down the stairs to Joe's living area and I will be pacing. Like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to set this up right. Like, there's so many moving parts and things that link together, but yet they don't. And it's like,
yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I just edit. Like, figure you can do it.
Joe's just like giving me that fluoride stare.
Yeah.
Where he's like, this is your job, dude.
No. Just like, I don't know. I don't research very good.
Okay. Well, let's get started. Because this is probably going to be the most insane episode yet.
Let's go.
So, over 16,000 people have mysteriously disappeared in Alaska over the last 50 years. That's 2,250 people annually, give or take. What really gets people's attention is how many people, boats, and airplanes go missing with no explanation. What could be behind these mysterious disappearances? Is it a natural phenomenon or something much stranger? I personally think it could be something much stranger. I mean, this is the House of High Strangeness.
Yeah, it's going to be things that are much stranger. After we've been through this topic, it's going to be strange as balls.
Yeah. Today, we are diving into one of the most bizarre and unexplained places on Earth, the Alaska Triangle, an area that has been linked to strange disappearances, UFO sightings, cryptids, conspiracy, and much more phenomena.
I'm excited for that. Hopefully we got that little Josie over there just like trying to get her word in.
Yeah, sorry if you hear my cat meowing at us.
I'm not sorry.
Well, to give you guys some context, the triangle's boundaries stretch from 3 major cities in Alaska. The little town of Barrow, known now as Yukavik, Anchorage, the known capital, and the city of Juneau, Alaska, creating this obtuse triangle. So though the triangle takes up a large centered chunk of landmass, everything that happens centers around this triangle. This space covers about 665,000 square miles of vast terrain and amazing wildlife. I mean, of course. I mean, we've all heard that the moose there are like 3 times bigger than anywhere else in the U.S., you know?
Yeah.
Like, Alaska is crazy.
Yeah, I've never been to Alaska. I don't think Rachel, I don't think you've been to Alaska, have you? So I want to go after this and see what it's all about. Go Bigfoot hunting. What's up, dude?
Josie has made an appearance. Let me move really quick. Sorry if you hear the microphone. Josie, what are you doing?
What's up, buddy?
She might come sit with us for a little bit.
Hi. That's those good stinky toes, huh? Hope you know you're on camera. We'll have to blur out her face. She's
Okay.
got warrants.
Josie, come here. Come sit. So Alaska is mostly made up of harsh wilderness that is inhabited, so it's barely touched by man. Fun fact, you can fit 430 Rhode Islands in Alaska, and there's a large population in Rhode Island. Or there's a larger... Sorry, I'm so distracted by my cat. Say hi, Josie! This is the first time she's on the air. Say hi!
Hi, buddy.
She might come sit. Sorry, this is so...
Move it or lose it.
I know.
Feline.
This is so distracting. Her butt is in my microphone.
There you go.
Okay, this is so
awesome.
Cute. Come on.
Yeah.
This is the Alaska
We had to get the
triangle.
furry friend in for the finale.
Yeah. Oh, my Josie. Okay, so I was saying that you can fit 430 Rhode Islands in Alaska, and the population in Rhode Island is bigger than Alaska. You know what I mean?
Whoa. Really?
Yeah, so like Rhode Island has 1.1 million people, and Alaska only has 740,000.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's really cold in Alaska.
The Alaska Triangle gained its name due to a series of unexplained disappearances and mysterious events that have occurred in the region. Almost mirroring the Bermuda Triangle, the statistics do not match when it comes to the Bermuda Triangle and the Alaska Triangle. Like I said before, there are over 16,000 missing persons in Alaska since 1988. This is an alarming number if you want to compare the small population that resides in Alaska. Bermuda Triangle only has 2,300 disappearances since 1945.
Well, so like so 14,000 of them, or a little over 1,300, 13,000 of them have been before 1945. And documented then too?
So like in Alaska, since 1988, there has been 16,000 missing persons.
Oh.
Since 1988. But Bermuda Triangle, since 1945, there's only been 2,300.
Oh.
Yeah. So you think the Bermuda Triangle is terrifying? Let's talk about Daddy Alaska. Okay, so let's first get into missing persons and disappearances.
Okay.
So when it comes to disappearances in the Alaska Triangle, they all seem to happen in the same series of events. For persons who go missing on foot or are mainly hikers, outdoorsmen, and tourists. And from my reading, it seems that they go out to camp or hike or climb and they somehow disappear without a trace, whether that be the fault of a bear attack or weather conditions or accidents. The well-publicized case of Gary Frank Southerden went missing in the 70s while out hunting. And isn't he just oh so cute?
Yeah, dude, he looks like he's living it up.
Yeah. The mystery behind his case was solved 20 years after he went missing, when the discovery of a human skull was found with the tooth penetrations near Porcupine River.
So they found just his skull?
Yeah, they found a skull with tooth penetrations
Oh, shit.
next to like a river called Porcupine River. DNA samples confirmed it was Gary, and the state of the skull suggested that he had been attacked by a bear. Yeah, that's a good picture.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
For some reason, it was probably at like 4 a.m. where I just chose to put a picture of a bear.
Of
like,
that.
Yeah, of a bear jumping into a pool. I don't know.
A stand-up pool at that point.
Yeah. So that's just one example of the majority of disappearances that are definitely explainable. That happen in Alaska, yet they're never truly explained unless like 20 years later you find their skull, right?
Yeah.
Because of how large and vast Alaska is, people who are victims of nature don't get found sometimes. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I believe it.
Hikers and explorers can fall into crevasses that are hundreds of feet deep, or get completely lost without the necessary needs to find their way back or to survive long enough to get back. So it's a sad ending, but it happens. Alaska is not forgivable.
Yeah, you got to know how to survive in the bush. You know what I'm saying?
That's what he said.
The bush of Alaska.
Oh.
Yeah, like bushcraft. Are you talking about like a hair bush, like pubic hair?
Yeah.
Okay. That too. I mean, you could probably get a lot of warmth from the pubic hair. You can go on if you want. I can.
A number of other Alaska Triangle disappearances, though, defy rational explanation. And the rate of missing persons in Alaska per year is twice the national U.S. average. It seems unlikely that all missing persons cases could be attributed to the same mundane factors. So it makes sense why so many highly strange theories have sprouted up about the area within Juneau, Anchorage, and Yukvik. But one of the most defining cases that doesn't seem to be rational is the disappearance of Michael Lemaitre. So let's get into it. On July 4th, 2012, Michael Lemaitre disappeared during the Mount Marathon race in Seward. The Mount Marathon race is the second oldest mountain foot race in the world, and the most famous case in the state of Alaska. This 4th of July was a really rainy day, and the race was extra slick. The Mount Marathon was only about 3.1 miles long, but the terrain and the 3,000-foot climb made this marathon very difficult. So it's not necessarily a marathon. It's not like 26 point something miles, but it's a freaking marathon.
Yeah.
And we'll get into why.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So the Mount Marathon race isn't a legend for how far it stretches through the vastness of Alaska, but rather for the harsh trials the runner has to face within just 3 miles. The race goes like this. First, racers run a half mile to the foot of the Mount Marathon. Then second, they have to climb about 2,900 vertical feet straight up cliffs on slippery mud before finally getting to the race point. Once there, the runners are noted for their time and their bib numbers. They have a little water break, and then the runners are sent hurtling back down in what resembles a free fall, more than running back toward the finish line.
That reminds me of the Wisconsin cheese race, where they drop a big old barrel of cheese down a giant hill, and then people run after it and die because they just hit their head so hard.
They just want that cheese.
I'll throw in a clip of that shit. You guys know what I'm talking about.
They just want that cheese so bad.
It's a free fall.
It also reminds me of that guy that tries all the cheeses, and he takes the biggest bites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he gags because it's blue cheese.
Yeah, I'd gag too. You know, I can imagine Joe trying to run this race.
You cannot.
I can't.
My love handles would probably be gone by the end of that. Jiggling and wiggling.
I just imagine Joe's hair. You know, like Joe's long ass hair just like flying.
I'd
This
pull,
ragdoll.
I'd
Just
pull out
like-
all of my hair before that race is done. God.
You'd shave your head.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, racers don't run back down the trail they came up on. They run down a safe descent trail that is separate. So they don't go running up and then right back down that same trail.
So they go down like switchbacks and stuff. Like they zigzag down.
Yeah, they kind of go on a separate trail. I don't know if it zigzags, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. There are multiple trails on this race that you can take to get to the race point, and many spectators are there to witness the infamous race. Alaskans will tell you that the Mount Marathon race is their Olympics.
Yeah.
It is a very popular race. Michael was a very athletic person, but it was his first time doing this run. His number bib was number 548. He started in the afternoon because there was a race for the women in the morning, and the men's race started at 3 p.m. A little over 5 p.m., a racer finally made it to the race point, saying he was the last guy. The workers stayed for another 45 minutes and then slowly made their way back to the mountain. Back to the mountain.
Mm-hmm. We're going down the mountain. We're going down the mountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I won't say 6, 7. Yeah, I know.
Like I said, it's also important to note that runners do not take the same trail they ascend on. There's one specific trail that's safer to descend on. So, as the volunteers started down the trail, one volunteer saw another man slowly climbing about 100 yards away. The man was dressed in black shorts, a black t-shirt, and a black headband. It was more than 2 hours since the winner had broken the tape down in town. The runner called out,
How far am I from the top?
and the volunteer yelled back,
About 200 feet.
The racer asked if he could still get a finish at that point, and the volunteer said that he just have to loop around the big rock atop the race point and then go back down the descendant trail. Then the volunteer called out what his bib number was, and he had said 548. So this was Michael Lemaitre. His wife Peggy waited at the finish line, but Michael never arrived. An hour and a half of searching went by with no trace, so they alerted the search and rescue teams. They launched a huge search with hundreds of volunteers, dogs, and helicopters. The official search began at 7:30 p.m. using rescue experts, firemen, and state troopers, search dogs, and helicopters. Bing, bap, bang, boom, boom, bop, bam. All of the options were there looking for this guy. His family searched thousands of hours, and they never found a single clue as to what his fate was. Despite extensive searches, they found no body, no clothing, no gear, no sign of an animal attack or a fall. There was absolutely nothing.
What time of year was this? Did you say that?
Oh, I totally did.
I mean, that photo. So was that photo of him with the black headband, was that during the race?
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, because that's exactly what he was wearing.
It's 2012.
2012. And then the time of year, it looks like it was like summertime
Yeah.
because there's zero snow.
Yeah. So I want us to think about how strange this is, because the race is literally like a mile and a half up. It's roughly like a mile and a half down as well.
Yeah.
Including one that says runners, I'm sorry, I just totally skipped. Hundreds of runners run each trail, which is within view. So spectators can literally see all the runners race up and back down. And a man simply just vanished.
Yeah. If it's such a popular race and it's such a traveled, like, trafficked trail, then... And they had dogs and hundreds of people and helicopters. Dude, where did he go?
Yeah. Like, it's interesting because I've seen pictures of the trail, and if you're a spectator, like if you were to run the race, I could watch you go all the way up to the race point, and I can watch you come all the way back down without losing you.
Yeah.
And a guy disappeared on the trail.
Love it.
Yeah.
Portal. Something.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Michael's disappearance changed the way the race operates. New rules were instated, including one that says runners now must sign a pledge saying that they've completed roughly the 3-mile race course at least once prior to the race day. Because
Nice.
Michael Lemaitre didn't do that. He didn't run the race
Yeah.
at all until the race day.
Yeah. Maybe something led him to, he just didn't know the way.
Yeah, or like
100%.
maybe he just kind of kept going.
Yeah.
And he just got lost.
Yeah,
And
that's sad.
kept going, and something happened. I don't know.
Yeah. Shit. I'm going to have to make a lot of jokes because this is depressing.
Sorry, it's going to get better soon, I promise. I'm going to get through all of the disappearances and all of the strange, what the freak happened type stuff. And then we're going to get into theories, and that's where the high strangeness really taps in for us, Participants of this race who don't make it to the halfway point within 1 hour are disqualified, and race sweepers now follow the last runner to the top of the mountain and back down. So there's extra rules there to help this not happen again.
Yeah, good.
So the next disappearance we have is another one that's like kind of on foot. Like it's not like a missing like boat or plane yet. It's still a person, and her name is Erin Marie Gilbert. And she is so cute.
Kitty patootie.
Isn't she just so gorgeous?
She kind of looks like me.
Definitely. Like if you were a female, you would not look anything like this.
I'm an ogre.
Joe would be, if he was a female, he would become Shrek.
If I wasn't a female, I'm already Shrek.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. That makes sense.
So Erin Marie Gilbert had only been in Alaska a short time, but she was already beginning to build a life here. Originally from California, she moved north to Anchorage to live with her sister Stephanie and worked as a nanny while planning her next steps. At 24 years old and nearly 6 feet tall, Erin was independent, creative, and adventurous, the kind of person drawn to new places and new beginnings. On Saturday, July 1st, 1995, Erin went on what should have been an ordinary first date. A few days earlier, she had met a man named David Combs at, I think it's called a Chilkoot Charlie's?
Chilkoot Charlie's.
Yeah, Chilkoot Charlie's, a popular bar in Anchorage. That afternoon around 4 p.m., Combs picked her up and the two drove south to attend the Girdwood Forest Fair, a lively summer festival filled with music, food, and crowds. Can I read today? I don't know. But
Excuse me?
This is all set against the dense Alaskan wilderness. For a while, everything appeared normal. Erin and Combs walked the fairgrounds, and Erin was last seen by witnesses near the beer garden at approximately 6 p.m. As the evening went on, both decided they wanted to leave and head home. According to Combs, when they returned to his car, they discovered the battery was dead, drained after he had accidentally left the lights on.
Fucking chud. Come on.
He told Erin he would walk to a nearby friend's house to get help jump-starting the car. Erin stayed behind, she locked the doors, and she waited. What should have been a short walk turned into something much longer. Combs later claimed he wandered the area for nearly 2 hours. I know. Unable to find his friend's house in the maze of roads and forest surrounding Girdwood. When he finally returned to the car, something was wrong. Erin was, of course, gone. There was no sign of a struggle, no broken glass, no indication that she had planned to leave. Strangely, Combs was then able to start the car despite it having been dead earlier.
I don't believe this guy.
I know, he's so suspicious.
I couldn't find where my friend's house was. If I were behind the wheel of my car, I probably would. Bruh.
Like, no.
But then it just turned on, and I went home and ate some cookies and milk and went to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, he just supposedly walked around the forest all by himself for 2 hours.
That was their first date?
Yeah,
Bruh.
I know. He assumed Erin must have gone back to the grounds on her own, and so he began searching for her among the dwindling crowds. He searched until 1 a.m., but Erin was nowhere to be found. The following morning, July 2nd, Combs called Erin's sister to ask whether she had made it home the night before, and she, of course, didn't. Stephanie and other family members rushed to Girdwood and searched the fairgrounds and surrounding woods themselves. Erin's name was called out again and again, echoing through trees and empty paths. Soon after, Alaska state troopers organized a large-scale search.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. They deployed helicopters. They had search dogs. Alaska mountain rescue teams were on the search, and Nordic ski patrol units. Like, damn. They combed the area thoroughly. The fairgrounds, nearby roads, wooden terrain, and surrounding wilderness. They found absolutely nothing, of course. There was no footprints, no personal belongings, and no trace of Erin Murray Gilbert. Despite extensive searches and years of investigation, Erin has never been found. Neither has her body. Her disappearance remains one of Alaska's most unsettling unsolved cases.
I feel like that one's definitely more criminal. Like, I feel like
Yes.
there was suspicious people activity rather than paranormal stuff.
I agree too.
So that sucks.
Yeah. And it happens everywhere.
But you know what? I can applaud. I want to applaud, Alaska's search operations.
Mm-hmm.
They really it's one person. They're not just like, okay, like we'll send 100 people out. It's like, we're going to send, ski patrol teams and helicopters and dogs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We will comb the area. They get professionals who know Alaska to go find these people, which makes it even scarier that, these people weren't found, especially, with, what's her name again?
Erin.
Erin. I was gonna say something else. Erin. It's scary because she was probably kidnapped. That's my allegedly. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it's like that's your theory that you're leaning towards.
Yeah, like if she wasn't found, and then there were weird the guy just could start his car back up and was fine. He just searched the fairgrounds a little bit, like hours after this happened. She's probably not even in the state anymore. No,
totally. And like Alaska, they know what they're doing because Alaska is a very hard place to search. And so as much as it's not the place you want to be missing, it's also probably has the best people there to search for you, you know? This next incident is probably the most famous case in the Alaska Triangle, and this case is what trademarked the name Alaska Triangle.
Oh, okay.
So
big bucks.
Yeah, this one's a big one. On the morning of October 16th, 1972, 9 a.m. sharp, House Majority Leader Hale Boggs and Alaska Representative Nick Begich departed from Anchorage in a Cessna C-310. Their destination is Juneau, Alaska, where a campaign rally is about to be held. Elections are around the corner. Boggs is helping Begich, so he gets reelected into the House of Representatives. The Cessna 310 is a pretty small plane, so only 2 other men are traveling with the congressman.
4 dudes.
4 dudes. Sitting in a hot tub. 5 feet apart because they're not gay. They
could be gay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay if they want to.
I like a good gay. Yeah.
So one of the other men is Russell Brown, which is Begich's special assistant. It's his special assistant. I don't know. Begich's special assistant. The other guy is Don Johns, the pilot. Anchorage and Juneau are both in Alaska, but flying from one point to the other can still take about 3.5 hours. So it's still a pretty long flight. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This morning, the visibility isn't very good. There is mild turbulence, and the weather conditions are icy. But honestly, that's just Alaska, and it's not like it's a new thing for the pilot. The men are pretty used to flying in these conditions. Also, Don Johns is an experienced pilot who's done this flight route dozens of times before. So nothing unusual was supposed to happen until it did. What do you think happens, Joe? Stop reading.
I'm not reading. Okay. I'm following along. What do I think happens? The classic I love the portal idea. The plane goes into a portal and they don't land, and then they're like, "Wait, why are these people aren't here for their campaign? Like, what the heck?" You know.
Yeah.
Don Johns also kind of sounds like some guy. I mean, he was the pilot, which is such a pilot name. He's got a mustache. Maybe he had an Escobar thing where, he took this important person for ransom, and then, I could go either way. I could go paranormal with the portals, or I could go crime and mischief with the Don Johns Escobar fiasco in my brain.
Like the name Don Johns and him being a pilot is like very reminiscent of some sort of character that would be in like one of those treasure movies with Nicolas Cage. What is it called?
National Treasure. We're
Like,
gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
We're gonna steal the Declaration of Independence, and like Don Johns is like, yeah, I'm gonna fly you to it.
We're gonna use lemons to see the invisible ink on the back of the Declaration of Independence.
Lemony
Snickets.
So 10 minutes after takeoff, Johns communicates with the control tower, and up to this point, the journey has been uneventful. So the four men expected it would continue like this until they land. Unknown to them, they just made their final contact with the world. Oh my gosh. My cat is sitting in my lap, and she is just being the cutest. I'm sorry. The last thing that they said was lost. So their last transmission was lost, never knowing what they said, and they were never seen or heard from again. When the congressmen don't arrive a full hour after the ETA, the U.S. Coast Guard, the Navy Army, the Air Force, and the Civil Air Patrol and other civilian volunteers begin nearly 40-day search for them in what has become one of America's most intensive rescue missions ever.
See, there we go. I love this. I love how much they're really like, we have to find these people that went missing.
It's like they did steal the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, they did.
It's like everybody's getting involved,
I want to steal the Declaration of Independence, allegedly.
I want to steal the moon.
Yeah, Rachel wants to steal the moon, and I want to steal this crusty piece of paper.
And I want to steal Josie.
I don't.
She is a bit stinky.
Stay over there, weird animal.
Oh, she's coming.
Come here, weird animal.
That's so funny.
I actually love you. Oh, goodness
That's
gracious.
really funny. She might be coming back. So let's see here.
We are distracted this episode. This is
I
not
know,
the episode to
I
get
know,
distracted
I know.
on. I'm gonna have to edit a lot of this out.
So they used 40 military aircrafts, 50 civilian planes, and they covered over 325,000 mountains, coastlines, glaciers, and ocean.
Yeah.
Square miles.
Good.
Yeah. So this search was the equivalent of a 3,600 hours of flight time, and some places got double checked on foot.
Good.
So extensive searching. People were just completely puzzled because from the recording of this episode, not a single trace of the Cessna 310 or its passengers have been found. Not a piece of debris, not a fiber of clothing, no human remains.
Debris.
Debris.
Sorry. I'm sure debris is going to come up a lot in this. So I don't know. I'm not trying to check you. I'm just trying to be like, I don't know.
The plane and its entire crew could have slipped into another dimension.
Knew it.
The disappearance was officially declared an unsolved mystery a few months later, and it remained a subject of intense debate and investigation for years. This event was also the catapult to start piecing together how strange Alaska really is. The triangle got its name from the story. This was a huge event with big important people vanishing between two major cities. It was likely they would have found the plane, but they didn't. Like, that's what's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like you were flying over the Pacific Ocean or like through the terrain of middle Alaska. It's like you're going from Juneau to Anchorage. You're going to find the plane.
Yeah.
And they didn't find anything, unless they're telling us they didn't, but they actually did.
That could be a thing. I mean, like, the other thing that was on my mind is it's a political figure. So there's always conspiratorial stuff around those people.
Let's get into that too, because it's about there. A lot of people speculated that there was foul play involved because Hale Boggs was not just your average congressman. He was a close friend to President Kennedy. He is a jelly donut.
What?
Do you not see the picture?
Oh.
There was one time where
I am a jelly donut.
Yeah, John F. Kennedy said that he is a jelly donut.
I love that for him. I'm a jelly donut.
Yeah. So he was a close friend to President Kennedy, and he was on a special commission dedicated to investigating the Kennedy assassination.
Yep. Okay. That's, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Boggs knew that there was something suspicious happening with the investigation. We know that because Hale Boggs publicly supported the conclusion that Lee Harvey Oswald had acted alone, but other insiders spilled the beans that he actually didn't buy that conclusion and that he was silently trying to reopen the JFK assassination case.
Yeah. Yeah. So he went missing on petty terms of don't find out this information, which is bullshit. I'm sick of that.
Yeah, the FBI did not like this, and it was going against them in a way, and they found that suspicious. People close to Hale Boggs reported that he was super paranoid, and that he kept saying that the FBI plus other members of Congress were tapping his phone, and that he had proof of it. Hale Boggs was calling out J. Edgar Hoover, the head of FBI, aka, demanding him to resign because he had too much power that was going unchecked. Seems that Hale Boggs was doing anything he could to rid the target on his back. It's also safe to say that Hale Boggs was extremely opinionated, and he was known for being very vocal, and that he made some pretty big enemies in his career.
Mm-hmm.
There was even evidence that someone wanted him dead before his plane crash. Of course, I mean, we're talking about Hale Boggs. I mean,
Bale Hogs, dude. Bale Hogs.
Spoonerism.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Don't mean to disrespect Mr. Hogs.
Mr.
Sorry, I'll shut the fuck up.
In 1994, a man named Jerry Max Paisley started talking shit.
Duh.
He was a convicted mob hitman, a bomber, and in 1994, he was in prison for murder.
Good for him.
Good for him. That is so demure.
Love that for you. Get your money. Get your bag, girl.
He came forward when he was in prison saying, quote,
"In 1972, I was given a locked briefcase by a member of the Bonanno crime family. I flew it to Anchorage and handed it off to two guys. They said something big was about to happen." So sus.
I wrote that. I wrote the so sus part.
Don't we need to finish it?
He then stated that he was told that the briefcase he held on the plane to Anchorage had a bomb in it.
That's always good. I don't support murder. This is all jokes.
This is crazy. Like, literally, he was given a briefcase from a crime family, and he had to hand it off to two guys, and then it ended up on Hale Boggs' flight and disappeared with the plane.
Wait, so it was on that?
Yes. That's, I mean, according to this mob hitman, bomber, and murderer.
Yeah.
But the thing is he has interesting ties. So I know Jerry Max Paisley went to prison for some heavy stuff, but he has a little bit of credibility here because he owned a bar with the secret unknown guy who told him to take the briefcase to Alaska. And he was married to a girl who later married one of the men whose plane went missing. And it's all just very weird because we have little bits and pieces of this information, but there's not enough being said.
Yeah.
You know, that it's like, you kind of have to put pieces together and be a conspiracy theorist.
Well, yeah, it's a secret situation. You
Yeah.
know, like why would information get out about this? And the credibility for me is always like when it's coming from one guy who got in trouble for a lot of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to say a lot of shit. So, I mean, yeah, it's alleged, but it's also like we can use that anyways.
No, totally. Yeah, I mean, he's probably wanting to say anything he can so he can get out of prison, right? As soon as possible. Or lessen his sentence. Like, I don't know what to believe, but those are some pretty crazy accusations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so that leads us to airplanes. Because airplanes are notorious for going missing in the Alaska Triangle. They go down mid-flight, even boats. They wreck or they just disappear, and people vanishing in Alaska is sadly common. I've said that, but according to the Daily Mail, about 112 planes go missing in Alaska yearly, and that's just missing planes, let alone aircraft crashes and incidents. So let's get into theories as to why let's get into some of the strange occurrences that happen with these planes. Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's do it.
I'm saying that weird, but oops, whatever. It's my podcast. I can do it however
A
the fuck I
blimp?
want. Yeah,
Ooh,
I know, right?
that's an aircraft.
So 30 years before Hale Boggs and Nick Beggage's plane disappeared, there was a U.S. Navy blimp that was on a mission off the coast of California when it somehow drifted off course and into the Alaska Triangle. The specific flight on which the mystery occurred began from Moffett Field, California on August 16th, 1942 as part of a routine, what is that word?
Reconnaissance?
Reconnaissance, thank you. I always want to say like croissant. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's got croissant in there.
Yeah. So as part of that along the coast of Alaska. I don't want to say that because I know I'm going to say it wrong, okay? The mission was supposed to last for about 12 hours with the goal of searching for Japanese submarines in the waters off the Alaskan coast. The blimp was on its standard patrol when it was noticed drifting oddly and being uncontrollable. What makes the L8 incident so strange is that the blimp crashed onto the ground near Juneau without any sign of the crew members who had been aboard. Their names were Lieutenant Ernest DeWitt and do you know that name? I've seen it before, but it's like ensign or ensign?
Yeah, ensign.
Ensign?
Mhm.
Okay. So the names were Lieutenant Ernest DeWitt and Ensign Charles Adams. There was no sign of the crewmen inside the blimp. It appeared that the blimp was abandoned mid-flight, but they had not seen anyone parachute out of it. Because this blimp was being watched like the entire time it was being weird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There was no evidence of the men being thrown out of the aircraft. So there was no doors opened. Like the doors were latched.
So they disappeared inside the blimp because they wanted to. Because they disappeared inside of the blimp, and they did not fall out, and they did not open the door.
I want to see what you fucking said written on paper.
I'll write it down real quick if you're down.
Just write it down. Like as you're saying it, just like type it out.
Yeah, okay. I will.
So two guys wanted to disappear on the blimp, and so they disappeared on the blimp.
So two men disappeared on the blimp because they disappeared on the blimp. Moving on.
So there was no sign of enemies shooting it down either. When rescue teams got to the site, they arrived very soon after it crashed. Once they got aboard, the life jackets and other equipment were still in place, with no obvious signs of distress or struggle. It was as though the crew had simply vanished on the craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portal.
That's what I'm saying.
Portal Part 3.
Or like shifting dimensions where all of a sudden they just don't exist, and we live now in a reality where those two men never existed, but that blimp does.
Yeah, maybe it's because they're made of flesh and have souls, and the blimp doesn't.
Yeah. I don't know. Over time, the LA incident became known as the Ghost Blimp because of the strange and unexplained nature of its crewman's disappearance. The legend of the ghost airship has been woven into Alaskan folklore, and it remains a mystery in aviation history. Did you like that?
Those are bars, dude.
Mystery in history?
Hell yeah. Blimps, okay, so it's like if I'm seeing a blimp in the air, I'm not going to sit and be like, that blimp is moving weird, because it's already a blimp moving weird.
Yeah. And people said that, like, I mean, it wasn't shot down, so it wasn't like it was deflating and slowly going down. It just started, like, drifting, and it landed, and then it just, like, it got poked by, like, some landlines, you know, like some towers and stuff, so it did deflate, but there was no, like bullet holes,
right?
You know.
Someone just took a number 2 pencil and just started going at it. Yeah, that's what I see before I go to sleep. With your big muscular arms, just fucking. Yeah.
Okay, I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, we're keeping that still. You're so fucked, dude. No. Forever.
I've been doing the motion of stabbing, and it looks really not it looks inappropriate.
I think they hung on to that. I certainly did.
You need to blur it.
Let's well, okay. All right. The missing Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to... Okay, copyright strike.
Okay. Then on January 20...
Then on January...
You know what? How about you read this one?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the next one is the missing Douglas. On January 26th, 1950, a Douglas C-54 Skymaster, a military transport aircraft, took off from Elmendorf Air Force Base in Anchorage, Alaska, with 44 people on board. 34 servicemen, 2 civilians, and a crew of 8, including Captain George W. Gorman, a seasoned pilot. He had lots of taco seasoning on him. Was on the C-54 Skymaster returning to the States. The Douglas was very large with 4 engines. It was 117 feet across and 94 feet long. The aircraft was on a routine flight. They were scheduled to fly to Great Falls Air Force Base in Montana. The Douglas was carrying important cargo and personnel, making it a vital military transport flight. The flight path between Anchorage and Montana was known to be long and a bit dangerous, but was a flight path that this specific Douglas had taken many times before. The plan was supposed to leave in the morning, but one of the engines needed repairs, so it actually ended up leaving at 1 p.m. Overall, the weather was nice and seemed to be a perfect day in Alaska. 2 hours into the flight, the crew made a routine radio call back reporting low visibility, icing on the wings, and some turbulence, but other than that, the flight was smooth. The skies were clear, with just a few drifting clouds. This report was done over a town called Snag in Yukon. Or Snog, maybe.
It's
Snag. And they expected to reach the next radio station in about 30 minutes. They'd of course check in again, but no station got another call from the Douglas. They didn't want to think the worst, so they waited until the plane was supposed to land in Montana, but it never happened. The U.S. military were immediately concerned that the Soviets might have downed the Douglas. It was a routine military mission during the height of the Cold War with Russia. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I mean, Alaska is only about 50 miles away from the USSR, so of course we are all speculating that maybe the Soviets were involved, but we are talking about the most surveilled airspaces in the world at the time. I mean, I think Elmendorf Air Base in Juneau is built to protect the northern part of the United States from the threats of the Soviet Union. The U.S. were up to date with the highest technology and aircraft in Elmendorf. I don't know about that.
At the time.
My own personal... yeah, that's true. So this was supposed to be where America was most prepared for invasion. So the fucking fact that they lost this plane with all its radio assets, all its cargo is so fucking strange.
It's just weird. It's weird for any plane to go down in the Alaska Triangle, especially during the Soviet, like,
The Cold War.
you know,
Yeah. The little tickle tippy touch.
the tickle Soviets and the silly little US.
The tickles.
Like,
Little tickles.
yeah, it's just weird that such a military flight, like the C-54 Master going missing is very interesting.
Important personnel, like that one,
Like this one right here next to me.
and important cargo. I wonder what those things were. Hopefully it goes into that.
It doesn't. I'm sorry.
Rip.
Yeah, it's
Too confidential. Rachel's the only one supposed to know about this. Yeah. But Rachel does want to mention that the plane was flying directly away from the Soviet Union. Like it's almost impossible for Soviet planes to be that far into Alaska. So Rachel personally doesn't think that Russia was involved with the disappearance. At the time, there was a big war games operation about to start, but all the resources for that went toward trying to find the missing Douglas. Alaskan Air Forces are experts in search and rescue, might I add. I mean, duh, we've been through this.
Mm-hmm.
They launched the search Operation Mike, named after Lieutenant Mike Tissick.
Yes.
This was a huge manhunt. We're talking 7,000 ground troops and 85 aircraft who were deployed to help in the search. They ended up searching 354,000 square miles back and forth. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
During the search, 3 other planes crashed while trying to search for the missing Douglas.
Yeah.
Oh, bruh. They needed Don Johns, dude. They needed Don Johns to keep those
Yeah.
planes.
Yeah, and some lemon juice.
And some lemon juice from the Declaration of Independence. Okay.
But what's so weird is that all of the sites were found and every passenger was rescued with like little injury from
Yeah.
all of the 3 planes that went down trying to look for the Douglas.
Yeah. Okay. If these flights were easy to find, then why can't we find the missing Douglas? The scale of this search was so massive and extensive that it gets Rachel wondering about what was actually on this aircraft that they just had to find it. Yeah. I had to throw you off there.
Had to find it.
But there wasn't anything that was found. No debris, no smoke, no debris, sorry. No smoke.
Oh my God.
Absolutely no sign of the crash. By February 20th, just 25 days after the Douglas went missing, they shut the search down. Loved ones were told that the crew was presumed dead. To this day, their bodies or the plane were never found. There was a petition made by relatives in 2012 to reopen the search using modern technology, but they wouldn't do so unless there was significant new evidence. Now, let's get into the theories as to why such strange disappearances happen in this mysterious triangle.
First up, we're going to start pretty easy. Weather. The weather. Come on. Like Alaska.
Yeah.
Nature.
As Luke Nichols says of the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, I don't know I'll just throw a direct quote right here, right there.
Okay. First up, of course, it's dangerous weather. Alaska is unbelievably gorgeous and breathtaking, and that's the first thing people notice when visiting. But it's also one of the most dangerous places you can step into if you're not from here or there. Not here in where I am right now.
Nobody knows where you are.
Alaska. The weather isn't just cold. It's extreme.
Ah.
In interior regions, temperatures can drop to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and wind chills can hit negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which can turn a simple mistake into a real emergency. Fast.
Quick.
The weather changes instantly. Clear skies can turn into a full whiteout with zero visibility before you even realize what's happening. Where the horizon line can disappear with the fog and the blizzards, it can leave people disoriented, confused as to where they are, Roads can ice over, snow hides everything, and people get lost just walking a short distance. Whiteouts are a strange anomaly in Alaska because of how quickly it comes on. The clouds look like they just drop in seconds, and people on the ground have gotten lost within a few steps from their own campsites.
Yeah.
So, Joe, you ever be searching for some jewels at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean?
No,
Is
but
it the Atlantic?
what are you referencing? The Pacific or the Atlantic Ocean?
Jewels at the bottom of the ocean?
Sometimes I'd be looking for my jewels every once in a while. Like, oh, there you are.
Well, have you ever wanted to get trapped on a ship with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh. Rose wasn't even that hot.
She was gorgeous. What are you saying?
Okay, she's gorgeous. But she wasn't that.
Yeah,
she wasn't,
backtrack, right.
But she wasn't
right.
Okay, but she wasn't
I
like
don't
that
think, no.
hot. You know?
No.
No.
No. Well, if you think Alaska is crazy based off of what we've already talked about, it has its own Titanic story.
That's gooby.
It's goopy goo.
That is gooby.
So, on October 24th, 1918, the passenger liner SS Princess Sophia began what should have been a routine trip through Alaska's Lynn Canal. Known for years as a sturdy, dependable ship, her route along Alaska's Vanderbilt Reef was one she had traveled countless times. But this voyage, made during a raging fall storm, would end in one of the most tragic and mysterious maritime disasters in the Pacific Northwest. Today, many call it the Alaskan Titanic.
Beautiful.
The Princess Sophia was considered fairly new in 1918, having made her maiden voyage just 6 years earlier on June 7th, 1912. Built for comfort rather than speed, her top pace was only 12 to 13 knots. So she was known to be capable, steady, and reliable in almost any weather. She had been served briefly as a troop carrier during World War I before returning to her usual route from Skagway to Vancouver. When the ship left Skagway on that October day, she was running over 3 hours behind schedule and carrying nearly 100 more people than usual as the travelers rushed south before winter set in. So she was way over capacity.
Yeah.
Which is a big no-no.
Lots of obese people on there.
No. This is 1918, not 2026.
Right.
Her captain, Leonard. Is it Leonard or Leonard?
Leonard.
Okay. Her
Leonard.
captain.
We've been through this before.
Have we?
Not on the pod, but I making funny one day for you. No, I think it was. It was. I think it was another podcast episode we've done that I can't remember. Leonard.
For the longest time.
You can just call him Leo.
Especially in middle school, I really wanted attention, and so when people saw my my middle initial, which is L, I would tell people that my middle name was Leonard.
Leonard, because Leonard wouldn't do, right?
No.
You should have told them it was leopard.
That's even awesome.
Leopard, but you can't see my spots.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Leonard Locke.
So Leonard Locke was known as a strict but thoughtful man. One young woman once told how she mentioned she had no one to say goodbye to. So he wrote her a poem. So he's a very sweet man, right? Or maybe he's just creepy. I don't know.
I'd write a homie a poem.
Yeah?
Would that be creepy?
No.
Well, there you go.
But you're not Leonard.
I'm not Leonard, no.
So he was known as being a disciplinarian, a romantic, and above all, an experienced navigator who knew the Lynn Canal, quote, every inch up to Skagway, according to a crewman, W.C. Dibble.
Mm-hmm.
Dibble my dribble. Dibble. So the idea that the Princess Sophia would go off course under his command was puzzling, even suspicious. Some say he may have tried to make up for lost time. Others wonder if extreme weather, volatile tides, or even electromagnetic interference could have affected the ship's instruments. Whatever the cause, the Sophia drifted more than a mile off her usual route as a powerful snowstorm started coming through. By 11 p.m., with the ship passing Battery Point, winds had reached around 50 miles per hour and visibility was almost zero. Still, Captain Locke had braved worse storms before, and the crew trusted him completely. Passengers felt safe, yet the link canal narrows drastically near Vanderbilt Reef, and even the most skilled captain had only a slim margin for error there.
Yeah.
Okay. At 2:10 a.m. on the same night, the Princess Sophia struck Vanderbilt Reef. This wasn't a clean impact. Instead, the ship grinded across the rock, climbing up onto it. It's its own iceberg, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's rock, so it's worse.
Yeah, and it's like climbing up.
That's always good.
Just grinding, which means it needs to grind back down, right? Passengers were hurled from their beds, crew members thrown across the deck, and supplies scattered everywhere. A young man named John Maskell, traveling home to England to be married, described the chaos in a letter he wrote to his fiancée.
We struck a rock last night, which threw many from their beds. Some were crying, some too weak to move. Lifeboats were swung out for readiness.
But no lifeboat could save them. Not in that storm, girl.
Nuh-uh.
Rescue ships from Juneau attempted to reach the Sophia, but were beaten back each time by the same blinding snow, monstrous waves, and deadly winds. The Sophia was perched on the reef, stuck fast, battered by the storm. As the hours dragged on, the situation grew even more dire. Winds climbed to 100 miles per hour, and the waves began to push the ship deeper onto the rocks. For nearly 40 hours, rescue vessels waited helplessly, circling in the storm, watching the Sophia suffer blow after blow. On October 26th, so the next day, the storm reached its peak. The sea lifted the ship off the reef, then just dropped her. The entire bottom of the vessel was torn open, oil poured into the water as icy seawater flooded the ship. Within minutes, Princess Sophia disappeared beneath the waves. All 353 passengers and crew died.
That is absolutely horrific.
Except one. A single dog.
Let's go.
I know, like, at least the dog survived, right?
Yeah.
An English setter named Tommy was found alive. The dog was soaked in oil, starving, and miraculously revived. When the storm finally calmed and rescue teams reached the site, a horrific scene awaited them. Bodies began... my cat just bit my phone and then it pushed me all the way to the top, so I lost my spot. I'm sorry.
Why did your cat do that?
She's giving me the like stink eye. Like she's like,
why are you reading this stupid story and not friggin' paying attention to me, bro?
I forgive you. Okay, so
she's gonna do it again.
Let's see, where was I? I'm just gonna start from this sentence. When the storm finally calmed and rescue teams reached the site, a horrific scene awaited them. Bodies began washing ashore, coated in thick oil. Of the 162 bodies recovered, only 2 had actually drowned. The rest died from oil suffocation.
Oh God.
I know. Like this all happened from an Alaskan storm.
Yeah. Well,
like Alaska's no fucking joke.
This big fucking tank was just jostled around on top of rocks, and people were just like dying.
What are they gonna do?
Yeah, it's their own fault for trying to, man that weather.
Yeah. So my cat's wanting to do it again, but businesses and public buildings in Juneau were converted into makeshift morgues as volunteers tried to clean the victims' bodies for identification. People later reported unsettling apparitions, figures dripping with oil, believed by some to be the restless spirits of the Sophia's passengers. To this day, no one knows exactly why the Princess Sophia ventured off her safe route or what truly doomed her in those final moments on the reef. I don't know why I wrote that, but it's like we obviously know it's the storm. But
Well,
like,
yeah.
what was weird is that it did veer off path while the captain was watching. Maybe it's just a mistake from the captain, or maybe it just magnetically started shifting. I don't know.
He was too busy writing poems.
He was too busy.
Rizzy.
Rizzy. I had to think about that for a minute. Some blame the storm, some suggest instrument failure, and others point to unexplained forces often associated with the Alaska Triangle. But one thing is certain: the sinking of the Sophia remains one of Alaska's greatest and most haunted stories.
Yeah.
People underestimate the size of the land of Alaska until they're actually in it. The truth is, Alaska isn't dangerous because it's mysterious. It's dangerous because it's huge and unpredictable and completely indifferent. If you don't respect it or understand it, things can go wrong fast. And that's part of what makes it so fascinating. Jeez, so fatty.
So fatty fascinating.
So, like I said before, I don't think majority of missing persons are caused by accidents. Or I'm sorry, I do think majority of missing persons are caused by accidents and nature running its course. But over 16,000 people go missing. There are secret government projects that we'll get into. There's underground secret alien bases, guys.
Knew it.
There's myths and legends that might be true. And there's pure science-based energy vortexes that could also be the reason why people in the Alaska Triangle go missing. So let's get into the real high strangeness theories, okay?
Can I read this one?
Of course you can.
I just, it's the portal thing, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is.
Kind of. The vortices theory, right?
Yes.
First, we are starting off strong and woo-woo.
Woo-woo.
We're starting woo-woo, people. The vortexes theory, or just the energy in Alaska in general, maybe this is so intensified that other dimensions can easily open up for monsters or aliens to slip through. Rachel doesn't know. Rachel's just riffing. Alaska is full of mineral-rich mountains where there are magnetic anomalies within the Earth's crust, and there is solar activity that is messing with the atmosphere. So this place is a big old sandwich of electromagnetic energy. Many pilots report their compasses spinning, drifting, or suddenly pointing to the wrong direction while flying through the region. These energetic anomalies have definitely contributed to planes, hikers, and ships going missing or just disappearing from radars. Rachel has a theory of why this happens a lot in the Alaska Triangle. Now let's talk about the vortexes and portals. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
This is the first time we are bringing up the terms vortex and portals on this podcast, and it will definitely not be our last. But when I hear people say vortex, I personally think of the tube-like structure that you see in tornadoes or in whirlpools. The definition of vortex is, quote, a mass of fluid with a whirling or circular motion that tends to form a cavity or vacuum in the center of the circle to draw toward this cavity or vacuum body subject to its action, end quote. And according to the book Rachel read by Mike Ricksector called Alaska's Mysterious Triangle, he defines vortexes in the Alaska Triangle as, quote, a swelling of the Earth's energy from the core of the planet, creating a myriad of unusual activity. So there is a physical type of vortex, such as with water or storms, but there is an energy type of vortex, which is most prominent in the Alaska Triangle. In vortexes, the energy radiates in a spiral cone, clockwise or counterclockwise, producing both positive and negative effects. They are thought to affect humans physically, mentally, and emotionally. Positive vortexes spiral upward in a clockwise motion, enhancing energy flow. This type is known for healing, meditation, creativity, and self-exploration. People actively search these places to feel inspired, recharged, or uplifted. Positive vortexes are said to exist in the Egyptian pyramids, Stonehenge, the Sedona Desert, and sacred temples and cathedrals worldwide. Negative vortexes spiral downward counterclockwise, creating a draining or depleting energy and decreasing the positive energies in its vicinity. In humans, they are believed to cause health problems, including depression, nightmares, disorientation, confusion, and both visual and auditory hallucinations. They are also said to cause electrical instruments to malfunction. Some places that are said to be filled with negative vortexes are the Bermuda Triangle, Japan's Devil's Sea, and Easter Island. But of course, this has not been fully studied to its alleged.
So
It's alleged, sorry.
Yeah. Also, like I've also heard that people have like their own personal emotional vortex where you can either choose to be optimistic and go, positively,
Mm-hmm.
go upward. You can feel uplifted. You can feel joyous, or you can start spiraling. Right? That's the
Yeah,
quoted
I definitely believe
term.
that. Yeah.
Where people start to spiral, they start to feel sadder and they start to go downhill. So that's what I've definitely heard too, and I think I've heard in many songs where like, especially those like fun little like manifestation songs,
Little pop songs.
yeah, that I like to listen to. They're like talking about they're all chilling in their own little vortexes and being all happy hippie.
Yeah.
So there's obviously like the physical kind. There's the energy kinds, like within the earth. I mean, the earth is a living being, I believe. I mean, it has its own heartbeat. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
You
It's
know?
its own frequency.
Right, exactly. So it has its vortexes. We do too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But people claim that they will hear auditory hallucinations, like something whispering their name, but they'd be alone in the wilderness, or the hum of bees. Some claim they're in some sort of negative energy vortex when experiencing said hallucinations.
Dude, like imagine being alone in the wilderness and you just hear someone go,
Yeah, or like.
yeah, just you
Oh.
start hearing vibrating. You're like, what the fuck?
Dude, just the textbook A24 scary noises. Like in
Yeah.
horror movies, like
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, there's also, I wonder if it's coming up soon. But there's also a thing where I think we talk about it. It comes up when we talk about some of the myths and legends. But there's also infrasound.
Right.
Like tigers, like I know I wrote this, so we'll hear it later. But like tigers do that to like disorient their prey. They like put out this infrared sound or infrasound that makes them delirious.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if it's that, but you can actually hear it. Like that's why you're hearing the humming of bees. You know what I mean?
Almost like hypnotize.
Yeah.
Like hypnotization.
Yes.
Hypnotizing. Cool.
And it's like I have a weird like thing. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off. But like you know how we eat like fish?
Right.
Right? Well, they live in a whole other dimension than we do. They don't even know that like land exists, really.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't think that there's anything else other than the water. It's kind of like us. Like we don't think there's anything else other than our little world that we live on that floats through space. But what if there's another dimension out there that is luring us with their little hooks with those little infrared sounds or with those little hallucinations, and that's how they lure you in to like get ya. That's why people go missing.
That's a really good analogy for just the paranormal in general. Is a hook, trying to bait you into, something for their desire, but you discover this new world, with like abductions and with, apparitions and whatnot.
No, totally.
I really like that actually.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Those familiar with this stuff often argue that the locations of the world's most awe-inspiring megalithic structures are anything but accidental. According to this view, ancient civilizations deliberately constructed monuments such as pyramids and Stonehenge at specific sites after detaching powerful energy fields emanating from the land itself.
Like ley lines.
Like ley lines.
Yeah. Where where the energy grid comes together.
Yeah.
crosses over.
Well, and even more like simpler and modern is like, you know, like haunted house or like haunted establishments, like where, you know, there's already energy in that place and it affects people now even when they go and visit those places.
Just like over time, the energy just builds and builds with the experience of different emotions that like just make things linger.
Yeah.
Just will bring in like new, like, just it could bring in those weird portals or those little like fuzzy places where things can come in and out of, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This belief is frequently used to explain why reports of unusual phenomena tend to cluster around these locations. In the 1960s, paranormal investigators Ivan T. Sanderson, investigator Ivan T. Sanderson, attempted to chart these strange occurrences on a global map. In doing so, he identified 12 distinct regions where mysterious disappearances seemed to occur with unusual frequency. Sanderson referred to these areas as vile vortices. What made these locations particularly intriguing was that they appeared to be evenly spaced across the globe. When connected, they formed the vertices of an isohedron,
Isohedron, yes.
a 20-sided geometric shape encompassing the Earth.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's just say there is vile vortices that this guy has done extensive research on that perfectly align around the Earth to make a secret geometrical shape? Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like that was the other thing I was going to say is vortexes are literally are just a version of, you know, like the spiral is a sacred geometric, you know, construct,
Yeah, symbol.
you know.
Yeah.
And so, and we see those things in everyday things, you know, just the physics of how our three-dimensional reality works, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that that's the case with the whole Earth, you
Yeah.
know, and how everything just works together.
Yeah, it's just interesting how, like, I mean, of course, we haven't done an episode on, like, sacred geometry or anything, but, like, how it all kind of links up together, it really does make you feel like you're in some sort of weird simulation or matrix that is ultimately built up by math, like mathematical sacred geometry.
Yeah, just the strangeness of us being here and the probability of us having consciousness, you know, being human beings and building structures and creating conspiracies. Like, of course, this kind of thing is going to make up everything and show it up as a side effect, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, be nice.
She's the one biting my phone. She's giving it the dirtiest glare.
Little muffin.
She's like,
get that big flat thing out of my face.
she's getting annoyed with it. I'll put it over here. Okay.
Sanderson theorized that these vile vortices were the result of intense electromagnetic anomalies, and that such disturbances were responsible for many of the unexplained disasters repeatedly recorded. This naturally raises the question of whether Alaska could be one of these vortex sites. The region certainly appears to share many of the same characteristics. However, the Alaska Triangle does not appear on Sanderson's original list of vile vortices. This omission may simply be due to timing. Sanderson compiled his list in the 1960s, decades before the Alaska Triangle was formally named or widely recognized. To further understand vortexes, we got to look deep within the Earth. So, we're looking at this little Pangea thing here.
Mm-hmm. It's the tectonic plates.
Yeah, okay. Cool. The planet is consistently shifting due to tectonic plate movement, and the center of the Earth consistently spinning. In many of these regions, scientists observe what are known as geomagnetic anomalies, which are areas where Earth's magnetic field behaves abnormally. One important factor in these anomalies is telluric currents, which are natural electrical currents that flow through the Earth's crust. Like all electrical currents, they travel more easily through certain types of land. Ground that contains more metal or water conducts these currents efficiently, while drier or less metallic ground does not. When these two types of land meet, scientists call this boundary a conductivity discontinuity. Discontinuity.
Uh,
Conductivity discontinuity.
Discontinuity.
Yeah.
So that's where the vile vortices come, is when they no longer can go through the ground, they come up.
Yeah.
And the electrical currents come through the air.
Yeah, it's you need kind of like a magnet where it
Yes,
repels.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, that's a total physics thing, so that's cool. At these intersections, the telluric currents may either amplify or weaken daily magnetic fluctuations, sometimes by as much as several thousand%.
Like what? Like that's crazy. Like
Yeah.
that's so much energy just going through the ground that you just choose to hike on. Like you don't know what's going on around you. You really don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, it just makes you think about all of the physical things that you notice that are really significant,
Yeah.
like when people put glitter on top of a balloon wrapped around a mason jar and like sing on it and there's just like shapes forming,
Yes.
or
Yep.
like, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen that on TikTok.
Yeah, just like sound frequency.
It's just shit like that is all around you.
It's always happening.
Yeah. There are extensive books and research on Earth's energy grid and telluric currents, but many researchers believe ancient sites of power, such as Stonehenge and the pyramids of Giza, were intentionally built on these energetic points to harness Earth's natural energy, aka natural vortex hotspots. Okay, Rachel, you're cooking. You're cooking.
I was cooking.
You're still cooking.
I'm still cooking.
You're still cooking. I'm reading it. In 1965, a geographical survey conducted by the United States Department of the Interior examined roughly 100,000 square miles of Alaskan land and identified at least 5 distinct regions with unique magnetic properties. The survey concluded that the region's geological structure and mineral composition extending deep beneath the soil contribute to these anomalies, making Alaska an unusually energetic and electrically active place. It's important to note that this energy is not constant.
Mm-hmm.
It ebbs and flows alongside fluctuations in Earth's geomagnetic field. Because of this, the strange phenomena associated with these triangles do not occur consistently, making them difficult to study and explain scientifically. What's going on within the Earth's crust is also closely connected to atmospheric processes within the planet's ecological system. This definitely helps explain reports of aircraft experiencing navigational issues.
Mm-hmm.
If these energetic currents can interfere with our technology, what effect might they have on the human body? Could this energy be harnessed? The Alaska Triangle appears to be one of the most potent of these regions. Amplified by its tectonic instability and volcanic activity, the energy is there, pulsing beneath the surface. We just can't see it. Damn, bitch. Yeah. That's like, I feel like that's so far is just the main passage of the Alaska Triangle for me. Like, that's just explains everything.
It's just constantly going on, but we just don't have the senses or the capability to be able to understand it.
What's cool is the comparison of, land anomalies and atmospheric anomalies with the people on foot who went missing and the people in aircrafts who went missing.
Yeah.
Together to, maybe put a spin on maybe that's why that happened,
Yeah, exactly. Like you just went deep with like about the Earth's like what's going in the surface, and now we're gonna get into the air, what's going on in the air.
Yeah.
Because Alaska is well known for the Aurora Borealis.
Yes.
Right? So let's think about the Northern Lights, for example. Now, this is some energy we can see.
Yes.
Scientifically, the Aurora Borealis is caused by charged particles from the sun crashing into the Earth's magnetic field. Those particles get pulled toward the poles where they collide with gases high in the atmosphere and release energy as light. Oxygen creates like the green and red hues. Nitrogen adds blues and purples. It's real physics, measurable and well understood, but seeing it in person doesn't feel scientific at all.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Aurora Borealis?
I've never seen it in person, no.
Me neither. Like, wasn't it like a few months ago where like in Utah you could see it like very vaguely, but you
Yeah.
could still see some of it?
Yeah, all over the United States. And it was like,
It's because the Earth is just throwing so much stuff at us, right?
yeah, like solar flares.
Solar flares. That's
Mhm.
what it's called. I
Mhm.
couldn't remember it, but
Ja.
Alaska sits directly under what's called the Aurora Oval, meaning the lights appear more often, more intensely, and sometimes much lower in the sky than almost anywhere else on the Earth. And the aurora isn't just light, it's visible energy.
Mm.
Like you're seeing the sun's energy on Earth.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So during strong displays, magnetic fields fluctuate, radio signals distort, GPS can glitch, and power systems can be affected. Look at that photo, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's a rare rainbow storm over Denali, Alaska. It's creating a stunning and colorful sight in the sky. So it's aurora and a storm mixed together.
That's so
Isn't
cool.
that so cool? Electronics sometimes behave oddly and navigation errors become more likely. This kind of electromagnetic activity isn't constant everywhere, but in Alaska, it's considered normal. I do have a video. I didn't link it, but it's pretty much a video of the Aurora Borealis moving like this, like that fast. It's
Mhm.
like moving, and then it'll shoot something, like it'll shoot energy, or you'll hear crackling in the video.
Oh, you can like hear
So we'll
it.
put it in now, but yeah.
Yeah, following that video, like I can just like I've seen video of Aurora Borealis, and it kind of like there's like it'll move in a line, like it'll like a wave,
Uh-huh.
you know?
But if you're like right under it, you can see the swirls.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
What really unsettles people is how the lights move. They ripple, pulse, fold in on themselves, and stretch across the skies in ways that don't resemble clouds or stars. In some cases, people report faint crackling or hissing sounds during intense auroras. Something scientists still debate, but may be linked to electromagnetic effects closer to the ground. Add months of darkness, extreme cold, and isolation, and the human brain reacts completely differently to these things. People describe heightened emotions, distorted time, and feeling that the sky itself is alive. It's a magical experience.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as much as as much science there is behind all of it, like experiencing it is like nothing else I've heard, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is where the high strangeness community steps in. These researchers don't deny the science of the aurora. They argue that it may be incomplete, though, because auroras are a form of plasma. Some theorists suggest that they can self-organize, interact with the magnetic fields in complex ways, and possibly influence human perception. Others point out that auroral activity often overlaps with reports of glowing orbs, fast-moving lights, and unidentified aerial phenomena. Under these conditions, plasma behavior and electromagnetic interference could explain why objects appear to move impossibly fast, change direction, or vanish suddenly. There's also this weird thing called orb lightning that happens in Alaska.
Yeah.
Where like lightning will like ball up in an orb and it'll sit there for like 20 seconds. It'll move and it'll crack out. Like it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, just like collected energy, like
Yeah.
collected plasma.
Yeah, and sometimes when like the sun isn't there for a long time, there's these things called dry storms where there's just so much static in the clouds that it creates these like electric storms with no rain, but it's just like lightning. So it's just a bunch of energy just going on, and it looks so weird. Like I wonder if I can put in some pictures right here, but yeah, like the electrical storms just make the whole place just feel like, I don't know if you've ever felt like just seeing like a storm just go over you all at once and everything just gets dark. It's like that kind of ominous feeling. I
Yeah.
don't know how to describe it.
I feel like we've
but
experienced that where it's just lightning, like not even thunder really. Like it doesn't
no, there's
hit.
no thunder. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just like
Or-
it just
yeah.
lights up the sky, and there's no, like, you can't see any rain falling in the distance over the
Uh-huh.
valley or anything. Like we've had that here before too.
Really?
Yeah, not. I mean, I haven't seen any like, orbs or anything, but
Yeah.
but I've definitely, that's happened before.
Oh okay. In other words, the sky itself may be producing illusions or revealing things that are usually invisible. There's also the idea of auroral regions as thin places, like in Brother Bear,
Yeah.
where he like turns into a bear and like all of his ancestors come through the Aurora Borealis
Mm-hmm.
with all the animals.
Yeah. There's the Simpsons movie. They do like because they go to Alaska to get away from the dome, like
What?
police or whatever. Like the what was that? I don't remember what the organization was called. Um,
I've
but
seen
yeah,
the movie, but I
but
don't
yeah,
remember that.
yeah. So they go to Alaska. Like a lot of it happens in Alaska, and then like I think Homer gets lost or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or like gets locked out of the cabin, and then he like is saved by this indigenous woman in this cabin, and then he has this whole like she like it's like a song or something. It's this hallucination like with her tits and shit, and like Aurora Boreal, just classic Alaskan indigenous folklore,
Yeah. That's
you know,
so
kind of thing,
cool.
which is cool.
And it's
But
crazy how we've been talking about The
we've been
Simpsons.
talking about The Simpsons. Hint to season 3. We're gonna do a Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll keep that in, but
No, we should. Fuck it.
yeah, but yeah, we want to do a Simpsons episode, but that's what that reminded me of.
That's so weird because we were just talking about that idea like
Mhm.
yesterday and today.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm going to have to watch it tonight
Yeah.
while I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's cool.
Cool. Many indigenous Arctic cultures view the northern lights as spirits, ancestors, or messages from another realm. High strangeness theorists interpret this not as a superstition, but as an early attempt to describe a powerful environment where electromagnetic forces may alter perception and awareness. Some even link auroral activity to reports of missing time, memory gaps, and disorientation, effects that could be tied to changes in the brain the brain's electrical activity.
Yeah.
This begs to be further studied because the government supposedly tried to harness the power of the Aurora Borealis. Let's get into our first secret government program. Deep in the Alaska wilderness and on the edge of a small town called Gakona sits one of the most controversial scientific installations ever built. Surrounded by vast forests, seismic fault lines, and some of the most extreme electromagnetic conditions on Earth, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, better known as Haarp, occupies a geographic region already infamous for disappearances, strange phenomena, and unanswered questions. To skeptics, Haarp is a misunderstood research facility. To others, its placement, power, and military origins suggest something much more unsettling. So Haarp was created in the early 1990s with backing from the U.S. Air Force, U.S. Navy, and the granddaddy DARPA.
DARPA.
Have you ever heard of DARPA?
No, but it looks here that it says Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency.
Yeah, so the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, a government institution known for exploring radical future-facing technologies. DARPA focuses on radical, game-changing technologies rather than just improving existing ones. What?
Game-changing technologies, and there's just like this weird gas-powered horse.
Yeah.
Sorry. That just made me
Honestly,
laugh.
it is funny. It's like they're trying to make a robot horse.
Yeah.
Its core mission is to ensure the U.S. is never technologically surprised by adversaries while also creating surprises for them. Basically, it's a crazy science lab that studies the most wild futuristic ideas. DARPA was the leading supporter for HOP.
For what?
For HOP. So construction for HARP began in 1993 after Alaska Senator Ted Stevens helped secure approval. Jeez, why am I reading everything backwards? And the facility was designed to study the ionosphere. Sorry, that part.
You have dyslexia, Rachel, and it makes me fart.
Okay, so the ionosphere is the electrically charged upper layer of the Earth's atmosphere where radio waves travel, satellites orbit, and auroras ignite the sky. So they are specifically only researching that layer of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Where the auroras are. Like what?
I mean, I would. You know,
I mean, I would.
That's just weird.
Mama, I am.
Mama, I am.
I
Haarp
am.
saying, "Mama, I am."
Okay, so at first glance, Haarp looks deceptively simple, right? Not really.
No.
Not really.
Not really.
There are rows upon rows of metal antenna towers. There's 180 of them. Stand aligned like a futuristic crop field, but these antennas are active. So there's it's like a huge field of just these antennas. Like, it looks so weird and creepy. Like, I have this weird phobia of windmills.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom looking at this because I just feel like they're all gonna be come alive and electrocute me.
It's the gigantophobia.
Yeah.
Giant swinging blades.
Together, they form a powerful high-frequency radio transmitter capable of sending concentrated energy directly into the ionosphere. For brief moments, Haarp can heat and disturb small patches of the atmospheric layer, allowing scientists to observe how it behaves under controlled conditions. In some cases, these experiments can even create artificial auroras, glowing lights shimmering where none would normally appear. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I want to know. This to me feels like this is in Alaska, right?
Yeah.
It's the Alaskan Area 51.
Somewhat, yeah.
I feel like
the government is studying energy
good. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean,
in Alaska.
Yeah.
Like, what more do you want? Believe in the Alaska Triangle.
I believe in it.
I believe in it too. Officially, the purpose is innocent. So they've said that they are there to improve GPS accuracy or understanding space weather or protecting solar storms and protecting military and civilian communications from ionospheric interference. But from the beginning, Haarp's classified ties, remote location, and ability to interact with a largely invisible part of Earth's environment fueled speculation. And its location, right inside of the Alaskan Triangle, only added gasoline to the fire.
That was a really good visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To conspiracy theorists, Haarp is not merely observing the ionosphere, but experimenting with it. Have you guys heard the conspiracy theory that the government is controlling the weather? It's Haarp. We're talking about how in the Alaska Triangle, the government conspiracy theory of people controlling the weather, it's in the Alaska Triangle, guys.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. I'm having the funnest time. I get to actually talk about this after years of studying this shit.
Yeah.
I am having so much fun. The most extreme theories claim it's a prototype for weaponizing the atmosphere itself. According to these narratives, controlling the ionosphere means controlling what passes through it, such as radio signals, weather patterns, and even the Earth's magnetic field. From there, the theories spiral outward. Haarp steering hurricanes, triggering earthquakes, inducing tsunamis, or turning the sky into a burning electromagnetic lens during times of war. Some theories even go further inward. They suggest Haarp can emit low-frequency waves that interact with the human brain, effectively turning people into biological antennas. Mood shifts, confusion, aggression, or mass psychological manipulation are some of the most dramatic claims. In this worldview, Haarp becomes not just a weapon, but a tool for control. Sorry, I had to put the dramatic in there.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
No.
Do you hate me?
Yeah.
Joe doesn't even like me anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. I used to.
These ideas gained traction. I just start going after that.
Hey, we don't want to deal with that right now.
No, we'll talk about it off air.
Yeah,
off air. I have to repeat everything you say, and I don't know why. And I bet someone's going to comment about that.
Yeah, probably.
These ideas gained attraction during major global disasters.
Major global disasters. Disasters.
Okay. So the 2011 Japan earthquake and tsunami, earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, extreme storms, and even unusual aurora displays have all been linked, without evidence, to Haarp activity in online forums and alternative media, aka Reddit. But I'm not hating. I'm not hating.
Reddit's right most of the time.
It's just what Reddit is saying. That's what they're theorizing, okay? The logic is simple. The events are massive, the science is complex, and the public doesn't fully understand what Haarp does. So the mystery fills in the gaps, right?
Yeah.
Yet when scientists respond, they offer a far less cinematic explanation. Haarp operates in the ionosphere, while weather occurs in the troposphere, a completely separate atmospheric layer far below. The energy Haarp produces is minuscule compared to the raw power of hurricanes, tectonic plates, or solar storms. By the time Haarp's radio waves reached ground level, they are significantly weaker than those emitted by our everyday devices, like our cell phones, okay? So...
Oh, no, we're getting into the 5G radiation theory.
honestly,
Oh, fuck.
no, we're not. I didn't add that in there, but we could.
But it's in there.
But we could.
Yeah, we could.
We could.
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Mind control, according to physics, simply isn't on the table, guys. In 2013, Haarp was temporarily shut down as the military shifted contractors, adding fuel to conspiracy theories that something was being hidden. In 2014, the Air Force announced it would discontinue the program entirely. But instead of being dismantled, Haarp quietly changed hands. In 2015, control was transferred to the University of Alaska Fairbanks, which now operates the site openly, allowing researchers to conduct experiments on a pay-per-use basis. Annual open houses invite the public to walk along the antennas and ask questions directly.
Yeah. I think that scientists being like, you know, Haarp operates in the ionosphere while weather occurs in the troposphere. I don't think that Haarp is only operating in the ionosphere and is completely truthful about that.
Yeah.
They're doing all sorts of shit. If they can do one of the things, you know, America, they're like, I want everything. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's like, why not do both? Why not try?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because as we've kind of talked about with the vile vortices thing, is everything affects everything else. And, you know, so like they're not going to be able to get the right amount of research done in the ionosphere without, you know, focusing on the other spheres. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
I agree with you.
So Rachel, just momentarily, I really want to mention that this next thing is called Portals Mwahahaha. And I really am enjoying the portal section of things. And I was just wondering maybe if it's okay with you, if I could maybe just, you know, use my eyeballs to speak amongst this beautiful paragraph or 7
I was
that you've...
planning on you doing it.
Oh, that's great.
So I am excited to hear you talk about portals.
Classic Joe prediction moment.
Yeah.
Classic.
Like, we both felt the energy. We both knew instinctually that Joe was going to do the portals.
This weird gay energy that's in the house by strangeness.
Not gay. No.
Not gay.
Not gay, because we are brother and sister.
What the fuck?
We don't need to bring incest into this.
Incest is not gay.
But gay is sexual, right?
Yeah, so is straight and all the other things.
Yeah, and so when you say there's so much gayness going on between us,
why are
it's
you
like,
trying
that's
to
weird.
convince me that I was being incestual? You're fucked, dude.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong
Yes.
to think this way?
You are.
Tell me.
I'm cutting
Comment
this.
below.
I'm cutting this out.
No.
Portals. No. Portals. Moi. I know we went down many different avenues. Rachel knows we went down many different avenues, but let's get back into the vortex and portal theory, because a lot of cases of missing persons and planes tend to completely just vanish into thin air, or into portals or wormholes. Portals and alleged wormholes may open due to unusual electromagnetic activity in the region. When Rachel hears people say portal, Rachel immediately thinks of an opening to where you can shift or jump through parallel dimensions or realities. Again, Mike Ricksecker defined a portal as, quote, a doorway into another dimension or some other place in time, perhaps another location in the universe entirely, end quote. He also explains that portals are a potential result of the energy manifestation of vortices. So when a vortex spawns a portal, it creates a link from our world to another place in space-time. When you think about it, Alaska isn't the only place associated with this kind of phenomenon. There are many mysterious triangles around the world. So, like I was talking about,
You brought it up earlier, yeah.
yeah, or like just it all linking together.
Yes. They all act kind of the same way. They all have the same vortices.
The Bermuda Triangle, the Nevada Triangle, Japan's Dragon Triangle. I didn't know about the Nevada Triangle. And the Bridgewater Triangle, to name a few.
I can't wait to do the Bridgewater Triangle episode.
All of these areas are believed to contain energetic vortexes that rise from deep within the Earth's core, triggering strange and unexplained events. These events often include the weather patterns we mentioned, electromagnetic disturbances, and even the possibility of things disappearing or cryptids/aliens going in and out of. Allegedly, of course.
The Alaska Triangle is a hotspot for legends based from indigenous cultures that might come from portals.
Yeah.
So it's time to get into our myth and legends theory.
Yeah.
So our weather anomalies theory, we've ended it. That's what we've came to present.
All done.
All done. Now, it's myths and legends time. Did you hear my throat? Okay, keep it in.
Okay.
Okay, so the first cryptid, I guess, that we'll be talking about is the Lake Iliamna monster. Lake Iliamna stretches nearly 77 miles long and 22 miles wide, plunging to depths approaching 1,000 feet and fed by river systems that open directly into Bristol Bay and the Bering Sea. Okay, so the shape of this lake looks like that weird like blue like rubber toy thing, alien toy thing from the movie Mimsy.
Like the last Mimsy?
Not? Yeah, the last Mimsy.
I don't remember that part.
Like I have a picture of it right here.
The weird alien?
So it's like they find a weird alien box on the beach and they open it, and like in it there's like this weird like alien toy that's like blue and it's like kind of rubbery looking. Anyway, for some fucking reason, the shape of this lake looks like that to me.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Okay, moving on. I had to bring that up. Its vastness is deceptive. Its surface is often calm. What lies beneath it is another matter. For centuries, the people who lived along its shores believed something lived there too. It's real, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Believe this. Believe it. It's real.
Weird furry art.
They call it the Gona Cadet. Long before pilots and biologists glimpsed metallic shapes sliding through dark water, the Tlingit and Aleut people spoke of powerful aquatic being, part wolf, part whale, and part god. The Gona Cadet was not merely an animal but a force, a provider of abundance and a bringer of luck, but sometimes a punisher of hubris.
I thought that said a bringer of fuck.
You know what? You're a bringer of fuck.
I am the bringer of fuck. I don't make love. I fuck
I'm the bringer of
hard.
luck. Joe's the bringer of fuck. In one of the most enduring Tlingit legends, a man kills a lake creature and wears its skin, discovering he can move through water like a fish. He uses this power to secretly save his famine-stricken village, only to be undone by pride, exhaustion, and betrayal. In some tellings, he dies. In others, he is banished, / transformed into the very monster he once hunted, condemned to roam the depths forever. So Lake Iliamna is remote, even by Alaskan standards. No roads connect it to its villages. So travel is dominated by float planes, skimming its surface, their pilots often flying low over water so dark it appears bottomless. Joe would hate that.
I love being bottomless, but I hate bottomless lakes.
Yeah, anyone want to fill Joe up?
What? That didn't even relate to the joke. Yeah, anyone want to fill my brother up real quick?
He said
In the
he liked-
words of
he
John
said
F.
he
Kennedy,
liked being bottomless.
I like being bottomless, but there was no mention
Does
of being
anyone want to
filled
fill
up.
Joe up?
I don't want to be filled up. I don't even have a fucking uterus.
Okay.
Dude, as JFK
It's
said,
just a joke.
as JFK said, I feel like a custard donut.
Actually, he said jelly donut.
He did say jelly donut, but I switched it because apparently I'm going to get filled up by somebody who wants to. Fill me up.
Damn right.
I hate this fucking podcast. Get me the fuck out. Get me out now.
No.
I have another 999
It
years
was
left.
only when aviation became common.
I knew you couldn't get past it without laughing. I knew it. Rachel's been trying to work on not laughing at like jokes she or I makes.
It's ridiculous. Okay. It was only when aviation became common, beginning in the 1940s, that the stories began to change. Stop looking at me. I fucking hate you.
Sorry.
In 1942, Bush pilot Babe Ellsworth. I can't! I'm crashing out. We need to get through this. My bedtime is in an hour. No, it's in 30 minutes. Oh my God.
Your bedtime can lick my filled up asshole.
In 1942, Bush pilot Babe Ellsworth and passenger Bill Hammersley were flying over the lake when they noticed shapes beneath the surface. At first, mistaken for shadows, as they descended, they realized that they were looking at dozens of enormous creatures. They were dull, aluminum colored, their bodies were long and tapered, their heads blunt and broad, and most importantly, their tails moved side to side, not up and down, because they were maybe mistaken for whales. But they didn't surface to the shore, and of course, their tails don't go side to side, they go up and down, so beat a bow. The creatures were longer than... What?
Beat a bow. That shit was fucking stupid. So, beat a bow. God.
You know what? You're stupid.
I know.
I'm burning up in here.
Cool it down. Put an ice cube in your mouth.
They weren't whales because they were not surfacing and the tails didn't go side to side, right? The creatures were longer than the plane's pontoon. So they were huge motherfuckers. Allsworth later said they looked less like fish and more like miniature submarines.
So maybe it's Haarp doing crazy submarine stuff because they have the weird. They're trying to do weird like technology advances. So maybe they're doing that in Lake Iliamna.
When the water erupted and they vanished, the men were left with no explanation. Only certainly that what they'd seen did not belong in any field guide. Hammersley published his account years later, and others came forward. Can you go get that from her, please?
God damn it!
What? My cat is rolling a ring around the floor, and I'm sorry if you heard that.
I'm sorry.
Okay. No more crashing out for the episode.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay. So Hammersley published the account that we just mentioned years later. Others came forward, though, after he published it. A U.S. coast pilot, a biologist, missionaries, fishermen, and villagers all described seeing the same thing. In 1967, Alaska missionary Chuck...
Crapashoots?
Crapuchettes.
Crapuches.
Crapuchettes. So he spotted the creature from his float plane. A friend described a friend decided to do what few had dared. He tried to catch it.
Okay.
Using I don't know why I felt the need to put pictures of this on there, but I did. Using 5 to 16-inch stainless steel cable, massive tuna hooks nearly 9 inches long, and caribou meat for bait, he tied the rig to his plane's struts and drifted on the lake. Then the plane jerked violently. He was thrown into freezing water as the craft was dragged across the lake. Could you imagine? Like, just this random plane just being pulled by
That
a
would be
sea
terrifying.
monster.
That would be fucking terrifying.
I know. I'm just thinking of like a cartoon version where it's just like, no, and they start like running on water and like their back feet are like spinning.
Yeah, dude, they're water skiing like
Yeah.
by the soles of their feet. Did this guy fucking get hypothermia or something? Because, like, holy shit.
Probably. When it was finally recovered, 3 cables were gone. The hooks that remained were straightened, and as if pulled by something far stronger than steel was designed to withstand. Beluga whales were suggested and sturgeon were suggested, but no whales drag a plane under. Sightings continued. In 1963, a biologist observed a 25 to 30 foot fish that did not surface for air during a 10-minute observation. And then in 1977, a pilot, Tim Laporte,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 passengers watched a massive creature dive vertically into Pedro Bay, its tail clearly visible. In between 1987 and 1988, multiple villagers reported a large black fish with a visible fins swimming near the surface. In 2017, residents near Kakhonak claimed to see a creature 50 to 60 feet long, blowing like a whale with smaller shapes following behind it. Okay, that's a whale.
Yeah.
That one's a whale, okay? Anyway, the locations repeated in Pedro Bay and Iliamna village, so did the descriptions: metallic coloration, immense size, prolonged submersion, sudden violent movement. Television crews eventually arrived, and so did biologists. The most convincing explanation they can come up with is also the least comforting. The white sturgeon. Okay, these bitches are huge, and they're creepy. Like, look at that face. Like, isn't that creepy?
Yeah. It's, like, very uncanny.
Yeah. These ancient fish can exceed 20 feet in length, weigh over 1,500 pounds, live more than a century, and dwell almost exclusively along the bottom. I hate that. I hate that.
They're just, yeah, I mean, so I've seen videos of people fishing these,
Really?
and I don't know about the white sturgeon, but just regular sturgeon in Alaska, outdoor boys, and they are not that strong. So like with the big like what is it, the 5 by 16 inch stainless steel cable, that being like stretched, and also just missing, like that's way bigger than a sturgeon would be,
Interesting. Okay.
but also like that's not the behavior of a whale. So I'm being optimistic that it's not either of those things, of course,
Yeah.
and not even a beluga whale either,
And then also having like indigenous folklore about it is really weird too,
Yeah.
But I hate like having a fish at the bottom of the sea, because for one, when I like to go swimming, I like to go as deep as I can and like chill at the bottom until I can barely stand it, and then I come back up. But it would suck to like get all the way to the bottom, start swimming, you just come face to face with that fucker.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that in a lake. Any bigger
No.
body of water than a pool.
Yeah. Okay. Did you ever like nick your chin swimming at the bottom of the pool?
Oh, it's
Or you're just swimming and you're like gliding, and then you just like get too close and it's like and you get road burn on your chin.
Rachel growing up always had this fucking scab right here. That's why
It's from the pool.
That's why she grows a beard around it. I'm sorry. That was probably insensitive. Rachel, don't cry. Dude, having a beard is cool. See, she has a beard.
She's here to comfort me. So they exclusively swim along the bottom, exactly where no one would see them in a lake nearly 1,000 feet deep. Their armored backs can damage boat propellers.
Mm-hmm.
Their sudden breaches can strike small vessels. Their bodies match the aluminum descriptions eerily well.
Yeah.
There's just one problem. There is no confirmed evidence that the white sturgeon lives in Lake Iliamna. So it couldn't be the Lake Iliamna monster, right? Other explanations falter as well. Beluga whales surface constantly, or fish cannot survive freshwater. Harbor seals explain some sightings, but not massive solitary shapes moving against the current. And sturgeon, like all their size, do not have teeth, which makes this next encounter really difficult to dismiss.
Right.
In a Missing in Alaska TV series investigation, marine biologist John Parler recommended speaking to a local kayaker, John Chamberlain, a man regarded as credible by the community. While kayaking on the north end of the lake, Chamberlain noticed a ripple moving fast toward him. His boat was suddenly rammed. He plunged his paddle into the water to steady himself. Something yanked it, and then he pulled it back, and a large piece of his paddle was missing. It was like bit and clean off.
That's always good.
Maybe it's a misunderstood animal or a rare migrant from the sea or just a cultural memory encoded in myth and legend. But to the Tlingit, the Gona cadet was not hunted for sport. It was respected, feared, and appeased. Nonetheless, lakes do not give up their secrets easily, and Lake Iliamna is deep enough to keep one forever.
I like that better than the Loch Ness Monster.
Really?
Yeah, that's cool.
Because you seem just so interested.
That was kind of a backhanded way to say that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so that was your intent?
Yes.
Can I say this next one?
Yes, you're gonna love this one.
Is this the one that you wanted me to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Kushtaka / the Otterman.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. He's probably really nice and snuggly.
Well, he's creepy.
Good. So am I. We'll have a creep contest. All right. Along the cold coastlines, dense forests, and icy rivers of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest lives a legend passed down for thousands of years among indigenous peoples. One whispered as a warning rather than a myth. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
The Kushtaka, also known as the Kushtaka, literally translates to the land otter man. The Kushtaka is a shapeshifter. Oh, that's a worst fucking... Whoa. Half otter, half man in its most common form. It appears as a harmless otter. You really went with the creepy guy aspect of this.
Just laughing at
creepy
the otter
guy.
man, like haughty, like what?
Yeah, like
he's like built. Oh my gosh! Like I know a few few men that look like that, and they
get him in
scare
a
the
Dolce
shit
and
out of me.
Gabbana. Fuck it, never mind. Half otter, half man. In its most common form, it appears as a harmless otter, but it is capable of assuming human form or even perfectly imitating familiar people, friends, loved ones, crying children, or screaming women. Oh, you know what that means. Like the crying children in the in the forests, like the Appalachia thing.
Mm-hmm. But for now, it's in the Alaska Triangle.
Yeah. Some accounts say it can become any species of otter. Others claim it is bound to only one. Regardless of form, its purpose remains the same: to prey on human vulnerability. That's fucking terrifying.
Yep.
Legends describe the Kushtaka as cunning and deeply manipulative. It does not hunt through force alone, but through emotion. Lonely hikers, lost sailors, and wandering children are its favored targets. The creature will cry like a baby, scream like a woman in distress, or appear as someone you trust, drawing victims closer to rivers, lakes, or deeper into the wilderness. Once isolated, the illusion falls away. In the darkest versions of the legend, the Kushtaka tears its victims apart, limb by limb, shredding them beyond recognition. In others, the fate is far worse. Instead of killing the lost outright, the Kushtaka transforms them, slowly turning them into another land otterman. In these stories, survival is not a blessing but a curse. To become Kushtaka is to lose one's humanity, one's soul, and the chance to ever be reborn as human again. Yet the Kushtaka is not always portrayed as cruel. Some stories describe it as helpful. In these versions, it saves lost individuals from freezing by distracting them with comforting visions of family and friends, guiding them away from death and into transformation so they may survive the cold. Whether this act is mercy or manipulation, this fucker is a cool dude. That is such a good way to say that.
I know. I loved the way you read it.
This fucker is a cool dude.
You just read it so it was the best way you could have portrayed it.
That's the best.
Go.
There are there are ways, it is said, to ward off the Kushtaka. Copper, iron, or steel, fire, urine, and dogs are believed to repel it. Dogs, in particular, are feared by the creature. Travelers are warned to listen carefully for its signature call, a high-pitched three-part whistle in a haunting low, high, low pattern. Hearing it near water is considered a grave sign.
So what do you think it sounds like? No. No. It's like ew, that's so creepy.
Maybe
I'd
like at
hate
the
to
end it
hear
kind of
that.
trails off, like
Ew, that's so creepy.
I'll have to throw that in
The
there.
Otterman is so creepy and so muscly.
It looks like in that photo, it looks like Godzilla.
It's totally like AI. I did not make that photo, okay? So don't come for me. I don't fucking use AI and I'm proud of it. But that picture I probably got off of Google. It's probably made by AI or like some serious editing that I love. Anyway,
She
continue.
loves it. The Kushtaka legend is so deeply ingrained that many believe it served as a warning passed down by the Tlingit mothers to keep children from wandering too close to the ocean alone. Everyone in the region knows the story. It is not treated as folklore to be debated, but as knowledge to be respected. Modern encounters have kept the legend alive. The Kushtaka was featured on Alaska Monsters, where investigators reported unsettling experiences, including a team member being pulled into a lake and a moment where a man appeared to walk away, only for the real person to reappear moments later. A spiritual trap was triggered without anything appearing on camera, reinforcing the idea that the Kushtaka cannot always be seen even when it's present.
Damn.
According to indigenous belief, if someone survives an encounter with the Kushtaka without being transformed, it means their spirit or soul is exceptionally strong. Survival is not random, it is earned. Whether viewed as predator, protector, or spiritual test, the Kushtaka remains one of Alaska's most disturbing legends.
Hell yeah. So just imagine you're like fly fishing by the lake and you just get like tumbled into the water or whatever, like from behind, like something pulls you into the water, and then as it lets go of you, you look out of the water and you see me walking away, and then not even 30 seconds later from another angle I come back, I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you in the water? How would you react to that? Would you believe I actually did it?
I would, but like,
But
yeah,
you know
that's
what I
just
mean.
a strange thing because it's like they're walking away and then they act. Then when they're approaching you, they act like they just like are like, oh my god, are you okay? You know?
Well, it's like I'm actually like the real me is coming back and be like, "Why are you in the water? What are you doing?"
Right, but in
Well,
the
like you don't
moment,
ever see my face on the other one walking the other way.
yeah, no,
Ooh, creepy.
no,
I love when Joe gets creeped out. He's like,
mm-mm,
no.
mm-mm.
Okay, so the next one we have is Thunderbirds. Okay. While often discussed in cryptozoology, the Thunderbird's roots run deep within Native American mythology, while similar beings appear across numerous tribes and cultures. Some legends describe colossal eagles so immense and powerful that they are capable of carrying whales back to their nests.
Bruh.
Isn't that crazy? Like, damn!
Yeah, they could probably do that.
As pioneers moved westward across the northern American plains, reports of unusually large birds began to surface, echoing stories that had already existed for centuries among indigenous peoples. Comparable myths of giant birds also appear in civilizations around the world, suggesting a shared human fascination with massive sky-dwelling creatures. So there is just legend of this everywhere. It's not even just in Alaska. I know the Otterman is just in Alaska. Lake Iliamna is in Alaska. The Thunderbirds are everywhere. But there's a really cool link within the Thunderbirds theory and another theory that we have already talked about, which I'll bring up in a minute. The Thunderbird is portrayed as a supernatural bird of prey with extraordinary power over the natural world. According to these traditions, the Thunderbird during storms was created by the beating of the bird's wings, while lightning flashed from its eyes and rain pouring from water cascading off its back. So it's like boom, boom, all the storms and the lightning comes from its eyes, the winds from the wings, and then the water is coming from his back. I wonder if like some indigenous people saw like this really cool like cloud that looked like a bird.
Yeah.
And was like, whoa, like lightning is coming from the eyes, because like that's where like the lightning would like strike from, and then like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One legend tells of two Native Americans who journeyed into the mountains in search for the very source of thunder, only to encounter the mighty Thunderbird itself. Other stories recount epic battles between a Thunderbird and an enormous killer whale, clashes so violent they reshaped the land, toppling trees and leaving widespread destruction in their wake. Despite their immense power and capacity for destruction, Thunderbirds were not viewed solely as dangerous beings. Many tribes regarded them as benevolent nature spirits who maintained balance within the natural world. In times of famine, Thunderbirds were believed to assist humans by helping them find food or restoring harmony in the environment. Even the land itself bore signs of their presence. Igneous rocks known as thunderstones were said in some legends to be the eggs of these great birds.
That reminds me of the egg scene in Nacho Libre, where he's at the top of he has to eat the yolk of the egg, and you will become the greatest fighter in the world. And then he drinks it, and he's like, whoa, it's all chunky, like falling off his face. And then he farts, and then oh shit. And then he jumps into the water. That's, yeah. I want a Thunderbird. I want a Thunderbird egg.
Oh my god. Okay, so through these stories, the Thunderbird stands as both a force of awe and a symbol of nature's dual ability to destroy and sustain, embodying the deep spiritual connection between the indigenous peoples and the natural world. Okay, Thunderbird theory, okay? What if, like the missing Douglas, for example, went through a vortex portal and into the times of the indigenous people, and the indigenous people just saw this like weird metallic thing in the sky and it was like, whoa, look, it's a Thunderbird.
That is a pretty cool theory. No, I like that.
It's not cool as fuck. I mean, it's
like,
definitely probably not real, but it's still funny to think about.
And all the residue of the vortex and portal stuff, like all of the energy stuff, the rain cascading off its back, and then there's lightning all around it and shit, and it's just this giant bird, and for some reason it was carrying the blimp that, whatever. No, but yeah, and then they were like, holy shit, that's a bird, because planes aren't invented.
Yeah. But like what's cool is that like maybe like the Douglas was going through like a storming cloud, and then like it came out of or it was going through another storming cloud in another dimension, but since there was so much electricity going on in the cloud that it like went through a portal. And so yeah, they're seeing this cloud that's raining and thundering, but they're also seeing this thing fly out of it, and they're like, wait, maybe that's what's making all of our water and all of our electricity and like all of the storm. And yeah, they just saw the missing Douglas.
Yeah.
And it's just like lost within the tectonic plates. It's just like, and then like earthquakes, it just gotten eaten up and then melted by the molten lava underneath the Earth's crust. Yeah,
that could be it. I feel like that would be like somehow Old Spice would make a commercial about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or like the new Toyota Tacoma. I don't know.
Or like a Airheads commercial.
Yeah, any commercial really. Super Bowl commercial idea.
Okay, so this next one I am going to read, but I have a story within this one that I want you to read.
Okay.
So the next one we have is the Alaskan Bigfoot, and I am pretty sure that this is our last cryptid for this section. So let's get into it. It's said that Bigfoot resides all over the world. We have the basic Sasquatch in Northern America. We have the We have the Himalayan Yeti, the Australian Yowie, and the Indonesian orange pendek. I've never heard of that one before. Maybe I'm saying that wrong.
No, that looks
Orang?
right.
I don't know. These creatures all differ in size, color, and temperament. According to the Bigfoot Wiki website, Bigfoot in Alaska is known to be brown, sometimes red in color. We all know this, right? I hope you do. The woods around Ketchikan forests are notorious for unnerving encounters and sightings of big feet.
Rachel really liked the big feet joke.
Yeah. Okay. Timber workers described that their tools would go missing, only to be later found neatly arranged at the edge of the tree line.
Oh,
Here you go. Here's your tools.
yeah.
I was just curious. Here's
I
the
just
back.
had to borrow it for a second.
But more disturbingly, there are these screams that are piercing and inhumane sounding that come from the forest at night. In the same forest, there was a sighting caught on camera. It's known as the Ketchikan Bigfoot footage. This footage was uploaded to YouTube on May 10th, 2011 by username,
Patua76.
yeah. It's spelled Putua 76. We will be playing this 1 minute clip here on our YouTube. Check it out.
Oh shit, there it is again. There it is. There it is. Oh my god. Oh my god. There it is. There it is. It's right behind that tree. Oh my god, I'm tripping out. I'm shaking. Oh Jesus. Oh man. Crap. I'm so scared. Where is it? I have no idea where it went. My heart's pounding a million miles an hour. I saw it down by the creek.
Dude,
But that's pretty fun, huh?
that is fun. Shut up. So it doesn't know you're there.
I know. I know.
Sorry, it just bugs me so much when people are like, oh my god, dude, look at
Okay,
you.
but like, how would you react? How would you fucking react?
I would be quiet and try to get really good footage of it.
Whatever. So Alaska has so many sightings and encounters with Bigfoot that I could make like a 12-hour video on just that. But one weird thing to note here is that you know when you are in Sasquatch territory when you find trees somehow ripped from the ground and placed back upside down.
Bro, what?
Yeah. And this is all
Look at
over
that.
Alaska.
Weird.
Yeah. Roots from the tree will be up in the air. This kind of evidence can be found all over Alaska, but I want to single out this truly terrifying tale about a village that was abandoned overnight. Alaska is well known to have a killer Sasquatch that is said to be more aggressive, way larger, and stronger than your average Bigfoot, known as the Hairy Man. On the southern tip of Alaska's Kenai Peninsula lies a sheltered bay of extraordinary beauty. Snow-covered mountains descend sharply into the North Pacific. Fog rolls in without warning, and the shoreline teems with fish and shellfish. By all logic, it should have been an ideal place to live. Yet for more than 2 centuries, people who settled there left behind the same warning, spoken in different languages across different generations. Something was wrong at Port Chatham. In 1786, Captain Nathaniel Portlock of the British Royal Navy anchored his ship in the bay while surveying the Alaskan coast. As his men explored the area, they discovered the remains of an abandoned native village. Food sources were abundant and game was plentiful, and the location offered rare protection from the violent seas. Yet the settlement had been deserted. Portlock's crew soon grew uneasy. The men became sick, disoriented, and fearful. At night, they reported hearing terrible cries echoing down from the surrounding mountains. Unknown to them, Spanish explorers had camped in the same place just 6 years earlier and suffered similar afflictions: illness, dread, and death. So both expeditions fled the bay. So the renamed town of Portlock was the only thing left behind. Some later theorized that these early symptoms of nausea, vertigo, panic, and sense of overwhelming dread could be linked to infrasound, a low-frequency vibration unaudible to humans but capable of causing severe physical and psychological effects, like I was saying before.
With the tiger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certain animals are known to produce it. Tigers, for instance, use it to stun prey. In Alaska, however, the phenomenon of the symptoms of infrasound would soon become associated with something far more unsettling. In 1867, a nomadic group of Subika... Okay, I knew how to say this before.
Shugpiak?
Yeah, Sugpiaq. Yeah, that sounds right. Supiaq. Those people settled in the bay. They were astonished by the size and abundance of the clams and fish along the shoreline, and they believed that they had found a place where winter starvation would not be a concern. But within a month, the attacks began. The villagers described their attackers as giant, cannibalistic beings, half man, half beast, covered in hair and possessing immense strength. They called them the Natinak, which perfectly translates to the hairy man. So these creatures raided the village repeatedly, often under the cover of darkness, displaying levels of savagery unlike anything this Sugpiaq has ever encountered. At first, the villagers fought back, but as months turned into years, the attacks continued. Whenever the game grew scarce, the hairy man returned. People were dragged away. They were torn apart and killed without mercy. In 1905, the village was fully abandoned. Despite its reputation, Port Chatham, also known as Portlock, drew settlers once more. Okay, so now, in the early 20th century, an American company built a salmon cannery, and a small Russian native community formed around it. By 1921, the town had a school, a post office, and a steady industry. So from the outside, it appeared prosperous and orderly and peaceful, but the residents lived by strict, unspoken laws. 1, no one went into the forest alone. 2, no one went out at night. And 3, no one ever ventured out in the fog. Armed guards patrolled the cannery and the school. The people believed that the forest belonged to the Natinak, but when the fog rolled in, so did it. For a time, the rules worked until in 1931, a man named Andrew Kamluck went into the woods to log trees. He never returned alive. His body was found with his skull crushed, a heavy piece of logging equipment nearby, so heavy that it should have been impossible for a man to lift and use as a weapon. His blood was found on that piece of machinery. His dogs were also found nearby, torn apart. After that, the disappearance accelerated. Gold miners vanished. Doll sheep and bear hunters never returned from the mountains. Sometimes bodies washed onto the bay, bearing bite and claw marks that did not resemble bear attacks. Other remains were so badly mutilated they could barely be identified. Twice, something broke into the cannery during thick fog. On the second occasion, the destruction was so severe that the cannery burnt to the ground. If you're canning salmon, the hairy man's going to want to go in there and eat your salmon. You know what I mean? So twice it tried to break in, and then the last time it just burnt it down.
Yeah. It sounds like a bear.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't entirely think it was a bear, but that could be one thing.
Totally.
Bears are huge. They tear shit apart when they're threatened.
Yeah.
They're in the forest. And if they're going to try and get into, any place they can that there's warmth and, smells like food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Especially in Alaska.
Yeah. And especially when they're next to a bay where there's a lot of salmon.
Yeah.
Bears are going to live around there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one spring, a man missing for months was finally found after floodwaters swept his body into the lagoon. He had been dismembered in a way witnesses insisted no animal could accomplish. By 1950, the town was abandoned almost overnight. The postmaster at the office remained alone for a year until the post office finally closed. No record exists of what he experienced during that final winter. Leaving Port Chatham did not end the encounters. In 1968, a goat hunter reported being chased through the woods by a screaming creature. Then in 1973, 3 hunters had experienced what is one of my biggest fears. Here is an anonymous submitted story from one of the hunters.
I've never been part of any UFO group, Bigfoot organization, or paranormal club of any kind. What I'm about to share isn't anything I ever planned to write down. It's just something that happened to me. I've only told a handful of people I trusted, and until now, I've relied entirely on memory. I'll tell it as clearly and honestly as I can. In 1990, I was working as a paramedic in Anchorage when my partner and I were dispatched to the state jail in Eagle River. A man in his 70s was suffering from a heart attack. He was native, and once we stabilized him, IVs, oxygen, cardiac medications, we began transporting him to the native hospital in Anchorage. During the drive, once things had calmed down a bit, we started talking. He told me he was Aleut, from the village of Port Graham, a remote community on the lower end of Cook Inlet. As often happens with me, the conversation drifted to hunting and fishing. I casually mentioned that years earlier I'd been weathered in with a couple of friends at Dogfish Bay Lagoon, just a few miles from Port Graham. I told him how beautiful and wild it was, one of the most incredible places I'd seen in my decades in Alaska. The moment I said Dogfish Bay, his entire demeanor changed. He suddenly sat upright on the gurney, grabbed me by the front of my shirt, pulled me close, and asked very urgently, "Did it bother you?" Every hair on the back of my neck stood up. I answered honestly, "Yes." Without missing a beat, he asked, "Did you see it?" "No," I said. Then I asked him the same question. He shook his head. "No, but my brother saw it. It chased him." We never used words like Bigfoot or legend. We didn't need to. We both understood exactly what we were talking about. That understanding came from an experience I'd had years earlier. In August of 1973, 2 friends and I were bow hunting goats and black bears in what was then extremely remote wilderness along Lower Cook Inlet. A sudden storm forced us to break shelter at Dogfish Bay Lagoon. We ran our skiff into the beach and let the tide drop it dry. After cooking salmon over the fire, we turned in for the night. Our tent was an old green canvas tent. No floor, no windows, just a center pole. We were careful to clean everything and left the fire going to avoid attracting bears. The wind howled through the old growth trees along the shoreline. Sometime around 2 in the morning, one of my friends grabbed my leg to wake me. His finger was pressed to his lips. I listened. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate. The sound of something walking just outside our tent. Not a bear. It sounded like a man moving carefully in the dark. The steps moved in a half circle around the tent, then stopped. We woke our third friend the same way, silent, tense, and terrified. Our rifle was leaning against a tree outside, so eventually we convinced one of us to crawl out and retrieve it. We were scared beyond anything I could properly describe. The storm continued the next day and into the following night. We saw black bears along the salmon stream that evening, but none of us said a word about what had happened. Maybe embarrassment, maybe denial. That night, it happened again. Just after 2:30 in the morning, the footsteps returned. Closer this time, maybe 10 feet from the tent, slow, upright, circling us again. When we finally worked up the nerve to crawl out with a flashlight, there was nothing. No tracks, no sound, nothing at all. The third night, we made up our minds. If it came back, we'd come out shooting. It never did. The weather finally broke the next day, and we left immediately. I didn't tell anyone about that experience for years. Then around 1979, I was reading an old issue of Alaska Sportsman magazine from 1935. In the letter section, a woman mentioned discovering a letter written by a relative who had been a school teacher at the cannery in Portlock Bay, right next to Dogfish Bay. The letter dated back to 1905. According to her account, Aleut workers employed at the cannery abruptly abandoned their camp and paddled back to Port Graham. The reason, they said, was a hairy man that was bothering and frightening them so badly they couldn't stay. Since then, I've looked into it more. Similar accounts exist all along that stretch of coast, passed down in native communities. They even have a name for it, one that doesn't translate cleanly into English. Most of these stories predate modern Bigfoot hype, and not all of them come from native sources. I later spoke with a hunter who, in 1968, was chased out of a gully near Portlock by something that terrified him beyond explanation. So that's my story. I don't embellish it. I don't try to explain it. But I know this. Whatever lives or lived around Dogfish Bay and Portlock has been bothering people for a very long time. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good shit.
That's a good story. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I just like opened a mysterious thing and was like, I have to, I had to get into that.
Oh no, it was perfect the way you read it. I loved it. I was in it. I was like looking around, like imagining myself in a tent. Like I wasn't fucking here, dude.
God damn it, the gun is outside.
Yeah. Like against a fucking tree. Are you kidding? Okay. Another story about the strange events in Portlock involves a group of hunters tracking a moose. When tracking this moose, they found separate prints that looked to be following the same moose as they were. It was something that left big man-like footprints but were bipedal and over 18 inches in length.
Damn.
Big boy.
Size 37.
As the hunters followed the moose prints and the unidentifiable prints, the hunters soon came across a flattened spot in the brush. There were signs of a struggle where the grass had been matted down, and according to some sources, there was also blood. But there was no signs of the moose or even the other creature that had attacked it. The only tracks that left the area was that of the unknown two-legged creature, and those tracks were headed up into the foggy mountains, which led the hunters to conclude that this big-footed, get it? This big-footed animal must have simply killed the moose and then took the moose with it when it left. They decided not to follow the tracks anymore, and they instead went back to town. Smart people.
Yeah.
Smart. Very smart. As much as I want to hunt Bigfoot, I don't want to hunt him. I just want him to be my friend.
I want to meet him so he can tear my arms off. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. One sawmill worker claimed he saw a huge hairy man destroying fish traps along the beach. He ran to grab his rifle, and when he returned with the rifle, the creature simply stood and just stared at him. They both sat and stared at each other like it was some sort of standoff. And then the guy never fired because he just didn't have the will. Like he just had this feeling and sensation of just like I can't shoot this thing. The creature ended up turning and leaving. I found this comment on a Facebook post. Joe, you want to read it?
Mm-hmm. I lived in Alaska in 2005. I met a local who used to fish in that area. He said while anchored for the night near the town site, they saw very tall shadows on the shoreline, moving between the trees, and heard screams in the night he'd never heard before. His story was the first I had ever heard of this place. Then I started looking at it a little deeper, and it's pretty weird. A whole town just packed up virtually overnight and never returned. I personally want to go there and check it out. Yeah.
I personally want to go there and check it out myself.
That's what I've been saying this whole episode. Let's go to Alaska and see what's happening.
I would love to go to Alaska.
Let's go on an Alaskan cruise, bro.
In 2009, interview with the Homer Tribune, non-Wallach elder
Melania Helen Kell.
She was born in Port Chatham in 1934. She explained why her family fled. It was not one event, she said, but years of terror inflicted by the Nuntinuk. Her godfather was killed by a blow to the head from a winch. Others vanished in the forest and were never seen again. Kell also spoke of another presence, a woman dressed in draping black clothes that would come out of the cliffs. Quote, "Her dress was so long as she would drag it," Hale said. "She had a very white face and would disappear back into the cliffs." Whether it be spirit, legend, or something else entirely, fear had many faces in Port Chatham. Today, Port Chatham stands silent. Whatever haunted Portlock drove native villagers, industrial workers, hunters, and entire families away from one of the most source-rich bays in Alaska. And to this day, those who know the stories agree on one thing. Some places are left alone for a reason.
Stop it. That sounds really weird.
Speaking alien.
Oh.
And that's the end of our myths and legends. Maybe someone or some sort of myth like the Otterman took people.
Yeah, I could. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the Otterman. Could be the Otterman.
Like when people disappear, maybe it's the Kushtaka that takes them, or maybe it's the the hairy man, the Alaskan Bigfoot, the Lake Iliamna monster.
Yeah.
So maybe that is a theory. Our next theory is high alien activity. Are ET theories and evidence? Are we ready to get into some fucking aliens? Fuck yeah. Now it's time to get into our final theory. Aliens! Since 1998, there have been over 560 reported UFOs in Alaska, with the majority of sightings in the Alaska Triangle. There have been stories of lights, orbs, and objects in the sky, and they continue with increasing frequency. So, for the first bit of evidence I have to share with you guys is the number one most documented case ever to be recorded, Flight 1628.
Yeah.
On November 17th, 1986, Japan Airlines Flight 1628 was operating a Boeing 747 cargo aircraft from Paris to Tokyo, with a scheduled refueling stop in Anchorage, Alaska. The aircraft was carrying a shipment of French wine, just in case you wanted to know.
Yum.
The flight crew consisted of Captain Kenju Teriyuchi, First Officer, I don't know how to say their names.
Takanori Tamafuji.
Yeah, Tamafuji sounds right. And Flight Engineer Yoshio Sakuba, yes. Captain Teriyuchi was an experienced pilot with more than 10,000 flight hours and had previously served as a fighter pilot. Shortly after 5 p.m. at Alaska time, the aircraft entered Alaskan airspace at approximately 35,000 feet. At approximately 6:15 p.m., during twilight conditions over northern Alaska, the crew noticed unusual lights ahead and slightly to the left of the aircraft. The lights appeared at the 11 o'clock position and slightly below their altitude. Because the 747 was traveling approximately 0.84 Mach, the lights appeared stationary relative to the cockpit. So they were not moving, those lights. That's what that means, okay? Yeah. Initially, the crew assumed the lights might belong to military craft. However, after several minutes, the lights maintained the same position and distance. First Officer Tamafuji contacted the Anchorage Center to ask whether any other aircraft was in the area. Controllers replied that radar showed no known traffic near Flight 1628. So these lights were not appearing on radar.
That's always good.
You look great, by the way.
Likewise.
The crew reported that the lights began moving in unusual ways, changing position relative to each other. Captain Teriyuchi later described their movement as resembling two bears play fighting together. Flight engineer Tsukuba observed an irregular radar return on the aircraft's onboard weather radar, describing it as a stream rather than a solid dot. What the fuck? Like, normally there's something in the area On your radar, it's just going to show us like a blinking dot. But this was like a whole like slit, like a stream.
Yeah, like a line.
Yeah, like a line.
Huh.
Around this time, ground radar operators also reported intermediate returns near the aircraft's position at distances of approximately 5 to 8 miles. So that's not far away. That's getting closer and closer, bro. After approximately 7 to 10 minutes of staring at the UFOs, 2 bright objects reportedly moved directly in front of the aircraft. The crew described intense light shining into the cockpit for several seconds. Captain Tarachi reported feeling warmth on his face from the brightness. Like, what?
That's fucking scary.
He described the objects as square or cylindrical in shape, roughly comparable to a DC-8 fuselage.
Yeah, fuselage.
Fuselage. So those like little bars you see in that sketch, that's what the UFO looked like. He reported visible lights arranged in rectangular patterns along with what he described as exhaust-like ports along with what he describes as exhaust-like ports emitting
Yeah.
varying intensities of light. The 2 objects remained in formation for several minutes before shifting to a position approximately 40 degrees to the left of the aircraft. During this period, the crew reported difficulty communicating over the VHF radio, describing static interference lasting roughly 10 to 15 minutes. Once the lights moved away from them, communications returned to normal. No mechanical abnormalities were found in the aircraft.
Potential attempt to try and speak with them through radio signals.
Maybe. Maybe. That's what I'm saying. So the Anchorage Center reported at least 1 radar return that appeared near Flight 1628. Elmendorf Air Force Base radar also reported a target in proximity to the aircraft at certain points. However, these radar returns were intermittent. Later analysis by the Federal Aviation Administration determines that the radar returns were likely uncorrelated primary and beacon targets. According to FAA radar specialists, this phenomenon can occur when radar reflections and transponder signals do not align properly due to timing differences. Like, what are you talking about? They're just trying to cover their asses, bro. The FAA Technical Center later concluded that the radar data did not confirm the presence of a solid physical object. All 3 crew members stated that they saw a green radar return on the aircraft's weather radar. Green typically indicates a weak echo, which investigators noted would be unusual for a large metallic object at close range. So that is important, but they could be lying about that as well. So I don't know. After the initial lights moved away, the crew reported seeing a pale white light at the same altitude and speed as their aircraft. This light appeared to reposition itself to the left of the plane. As the aircraft passed near Fairbanks, Captain Tarachi reported seeing the silhouette of a much larger object behind the aircraft. He described it as a walnut shaped with a central band and lights at its outer edges. He estimated its size to be extremely large, possibly twice the length of an aircraft carrier.
Holy.
I know, right? That's so scary, huh?
Yeah.
So flight engineer Sakuba later described this object as very vague and difficult to see. First Officer Tamafuji stated that he did not clearly observe the large structure craft described by the captain, but Captain Tarachi requested a course change from the Anchorage Center. Because, you have to. You're like, I need to get away from this thing, but they need to make sure that they get permission to be able to turn around or change course. Air traffic control instructed the aircraft to perform a 360-degree turn. The crew reported that the object appeared to follow them during the maneuver. Radar operators observed intermittent primary returns during this time. Hey. To verify the sighting, Anchorage Center sent a United Airlines passenger aircraft into the area. The United crew reported seeing the Japanese Airlines flight clearly, but did not observe any unusual object nearby. A U.S. Air Force C-130 aircraft was also in the vicinity but did not confirm visual contact with any unidentified object. Astronomical analysis later determined that the planet Jupiter was visible in the southeastern sky at magnitude -2.6 during the time of the sighting. Investigators concluded that the Jupiter's position closely matched the reported location of the long-duration light that they first saw. So they could have just seen Jupiter, but they did see two lights. So I don't know.
Aircraft carrier size Jupiter.
Oi.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Yeah. Environmental factors were also examined. Okay, get this. This is actually stupid. A nearly full moon was present, positioned low on the horizon. Ice crystal clouds in the region may have reflected moonlight in ways that produced bright, shifting lights. Captain Tarachi himself acknowledged in later interviews that nighttime flights over Alaska could produce confusing visual effects, including reflections from snow-covered terrain and pipeline pump stations.
Yeah, that explains the warmth that you felt on your skin through the windshield of a 747.
Oh my god, like please entertain someone else with that bullshit. The encounter reportedly lasted between 30 and 50 minutes, depending on which phase of the sighting is counted. Like whatever you choose is the first sighting, whether it be the mothership that you see that you experience or you think is what happened first, or the two lights that they might have thought was Jupiter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Captain Tarachi later stated that it felt longer. Flight 1628 landed safely at Anchorage International Airport at approximately 6:20 p.m. Shortly after landing, the crew was interviewed by FAA officials. In January, the FAA conducted recorded interviews with all three crew members separately, all fully documented and all released for the public to see, which is what I mainly used for my research. Some discrepancies emerge in their descriptions that I noticed. So I read through like 200 pages and I'm like, I saw a few things that were a bit funky. So first, Tsukuba distinguished between two separate phenomena, a short duration cluster of lights and a long lasting distant light. Then Tamafuji stated that he saw lights but did not clearly observe a large structured craft, and then Tarachi consistently described structured objects and referred to them as spaceships or a mothership. So they all kind of saw three different things, which is kind of bad.
Yeah.
You know? And it was later revealed that Captain Tarachi had previously reported other UFO sightings. He expressed personal belief that the objects were extraterrestrial in origin. The FAA eventually released more than 1,500 pages of documentation related to this case through Freedom of Information Act requests. These documents include radar data, transcripts, internal memoranda, and crew interviews. If you are interested to go back to the if you want to look it up, it's on the Black Vault website. That's where I found all of them. I didn't read through all 1,500 pages.
Yeah.
But I did read through all interviews and I saw all of his drawings and they're pretty cool looking. So there's also pictures of radars, but I tried to download them and they wouldn't download.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Huh. Weird. Bless you.
Thank you.
So the FAA stated that it has no official mandate to investigate UFOs and did not conduct astronomical modeling at the time of the event. Afterwards, Captain Tarachi was reassigned to a desk position by Japan Airlines after speaking publicly about the incident. The airline just described that it was just a routine rotation. He was later reinstalled as a pilot later on when this wasn't as popular. But he literally was like demoted after this happened.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's just what happens to people that experience cool shit.
Yep. Japan Airlines Flight 1628 remains one of the most extensively documented aviation-related UFO reports. It is like the number one best documented UFO case
Yeah,
ever.
I mean 1,500 pages.
Yes.
Damn.
Like, it is very well documented. So it's hard to lie about what happened. The case is notable for a prolonged sighting report by a commercial airline crew, recorded air traffic control communications. Yeah, I tried to find more those recordings, but I couldn't find any. But I've heard some of them on like other people's YouTube videos, so maybe go look at those, I guess. But there's intermittent radar returns. There's subsequent technical analysis by the FAA. The official FAA conclusion did not confirm the presence of an extraterrestrial craft. Instead, investigators attributed the radar anomalies to technical factors and suggested that celestial bodies, atmospheric conditions, and ice crystal reflections may have contributed to the visual sightings. That's what they concluded. I know, such bullshit. Despite this, the case continues to be cited as one of the most detailed UFO encounters associated with the region, commonly referred to as the Alaska Triangle. My bestie.
The Alaska.
Flight 1628 stands as a documented example of how unusual observations at high altitude, combined with radar data, environmental conditions, and human perception, can produce an event that remains debated decades later.
Okay, Mount Hayes. Most of the credible sightings of UAPs and strange phenomena have happened in the middle of the triangle. In the center of the Alaska Triangle stands the legendary Mount Hayes, a remote and towering peak that has become one of the most intriguing and unsettling locations in UFO lore. Rumors have circulated for decades about a secret extraterrestrial base hidden deep within the mountain, with Alaska reporting more UFO sightings than any other state. Many wonder whether Mount Hayes is more than just a mountain. Some even question whether this hidden activity might be connected to the thousands of people who have vanished in Alaska Triangle. One of the most compelling parts of the Mount Hayes mystery comes from the CIA's Cold War psychic espionage. Espionage, yes. The CIA's Cold War psychic espionage program known as Project Stargate during the 1970s, when the United States believed the Soviet Union was training psychics to spy on military installations. The CIA recruited its own gifted remote viewers, individuals believed to have the ability to project their consciousness to distant places and gather intelligence. The core of Project Stargate was centered around remote viewing. In a typical remote viewing session, the remote viewer and an interviewer are isolated with a target, whether that's a place, a person, a picture, coordinates. Whatever that target is, it's placed on a piece of paper and sealed in an envelope. Neither the remote viewer or the interviewer are allowed to know what the target is. It's important that even the interviewer is not aware of what's inside the envelope, because they would unwittingly feed information to the viewer while asking their questions. Among the remote viewers was Pat Price, a former Burbank police officer who became one of the program's most accurate and trusted viewers. Price was known for producing detailed descriptions and sketches of classified Soviet facilities that reportedly matched secret CIA photographs that he had never seen.
So look, that's his, in the very grave picture, he drew the right one, and then that was a picture. On the left
weird.
one is a picture at the the Soviet Union. So he remote viewed those, and that's evidence that he saw that remote viewing.
That's insane.
Yeah.
He went as far as drawing and mapping out sketched cranes and gantries behind Soviet lines, and then later the CIA received photos of the exact sketches and map he had drawn up. In 1973, Pat Price turned in a report to the head of the remote viewing program in the Stargate project. Hale Puthoff replied to this report with one sentence, quote, "You might be interested in these UFO bases," end quote. And with that, Pat Price was officially part of the remote viewing program for Project Stargate. Apparently, during Price's remote viewing sessions, he discovered 4 underground extraterrestrial bases spread across the globe. One in Mount Perdido, somewhere between France and Spain. There's Mount Inyangani.
Yeah, Inyangani.
Inyangani,
In Zimbabwe.
That's in Zimbabwe. Okay. Yeah, it says that. So there's one there. Another one in Mount Ziel.
I think I said it. I think I heard Zeal.
Zeal.
I don't know.
Mount Zeal in Australia. And last but not least, Mount Hayes in Alaska. During one of his assignments, something strange happened. Instead of focusing on his intended Soviet target, Price said he was psychically
Sorry.
pulled toward Mount Hayes, drawn to something going on there that he needed to examine. In his remote viewing sessions reports, Price described a vast subterranean structure hidden inside the mountain. He was hardly vague with his description of what he saw. His reports contained graphic descriptions of each of the bases he had found, with intricate details of structures. He claimed to see an advanced alien facility containing a strange device with cables hanging from it. Some kind of atmospheric monitoring system. In his words, some kind of weather and geological center with high security measures that were so advanced and sophisticated that discovering the site was impossible by ordinary means. He also reported encountering super advanced humanoid beings working side by side with normal humans, who he believed could be military personnel. Price went on by saying that these humanoid beings looked just like humans, but that they were only different by their hearts, lungs, blood, and eyes. Price said that the base contained tunnels, control rooms, and technology far beyond human capabilities. He wasn't the only remote viewer to report this. Price did state that if anyone made a point to try to uncover the base, the aliens would not allow any sort of mission to succeed. But that's not all, Price said. He also stated that it was this specific underground base causing all the strange activity in the area, plus malfunctions of U.S. and Soviet space projects. The story only grows stranger when considering the circumstances of Price's death. While working as a remote viewer, he was found dead in a Los Angeles hotel room, reportedly from a heart attack in July of 1975, a few years after his findings on Mount Hayes. His family was never informed, but before his body was cremated.
Are you serious? His family was never informed before they cremated his body.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
Like, they're definitely hiding something. They killed him.
Yeah. It wasn't a heart attack either.
No.
Or, I don't know.
Yeah, they're trying to cover something up. He probably found something that he wasn't supposed to know about.
Oh, definitely. At the time of his death, he was in possession of classified remote viewing documents, and the day before he had met with officials from the National Security Agency shortly before he died. He also complained of severe stomach cramps. The ambiguity surrounding his death has led some researchers to wonder whether he discovered something about Mount Hayes he wasn't supposed to. Price's findings of the underground base weren't looked into or picked up until 9 years after Price's findings and his sudden death in 1982, when the case file got to Skip Atwater's desk. Skip was the officer in charge of Project Stargate. He took the report very seriously and decided to follow up on it by getting other remote viewers to confirm Price's findings, calling this new project Project 8200. Skip Atwaters brings on Joe McMoneagle. He gives him the coordinates, and he expressed this in his remote viewing reports. And then we have a video.
Not offensive. Like a shield of some kind. Very high charged, very excited, coherent pulses of positive charged particles. It's never been used on a full output. Still, like still or experimental. Its power is weird. It's like I don't think it's ever been done.
Huh.
It makes more sense when he says it.
Yeah.
You'll hear it in the
Because there's like
editing.
hesitations and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe McMoneagle believes that the underground base is powered by some sort of an atomic power plant, but yet doesn't have the language or words to fully be able to describe what he saw. Joe did not see any sort of life form inside the base. But what Joe McMoneagle did see was a huge hit for the reopening of this case, but Skip Atwaters felt that it was not enough. So he brought in another remote viewer named Mel Riley. He yet again gave the same coordinates to Mel Riley to see what Mel Riley can figure out. Mel again confirmed what Price found. He had no idea what he was supposed to be looking for.
But like these are his drawings. So this is kind of just remote viewing session data. You can see where the remote viewer said is MR. So that's Mel Riley. Interviewer ED. We don't know who that is. The date is January 28th, 1987, whatever. And then in these pictures, there's like one picture of the top of a mountain that says Top Peak. The mountain is gray. And then there's, in the second photo, there's like a cave on like this flat platform. It says a tunnel that leads to very large natural looking cavern. Anyway, it just like, it's a whole landscape. And so he goes into the tunnel. Yeah, you can keep reading if you like, but.
Riley said that he saw a mountainous region with some sort of working base underneath. Mel Riley did claim to see a few humanoid beings at the base underneath Mount Hayes. He described the beings as having a human form with very large round heads, short and slender necks, dark in color, bluish black, and he described them as being kind of shadowy-like, lacking definitive facial features. Oh my God.
Creepy, huh?
Actually, both Pat Price and Mel Riley saw humanoid-looking beings in their viewings, yet neither of them ever knew they saw the same beings. Only Pat Price describes them as shapeshifters and some sort of hybrid between the common alien stereotype and a human. Though they seem a bit frightening, Mel Riley said that they were actually friendly and that they invited him to come and observe what they were doing.
So in this picture, dude, this like humanoid dude is at this like piano. And there was like
circular station.
Yeah, the circular thing is some sort of monitor or a screen. But he couldn't see it very clearly in his vision. There's like a circular station, like keys and switches on an organ, and then the guy is dark, shadowy entity, features not distinct, playing keyboard. Impression is that he is observing someone.
Summary site appears to be a structure located within a mountain, which has a triangular peak. There is a large lake at the something of the mountain, which is surrounded by
At the base of this mountain.
That is, which is surrounded by high rugged mountains or cliffs. It seems fairly impenetrable.
There were two people walking around outside of the structure and two people inside the structure. One of the people inside the structure sat at a circular position, which appeared to look similar to an organ because of the keys, buttons, and switches. The word observing comes to my mind. That appeared to be some sort of screen on or monitor, but could not make it out clearly.
Mel Riley also said he saw dark figures seated around a circular control panel in a large organ-like structure deep inside the mountain. Mount Hayes has no shortage of eyewitness reports to back up its eerie reputation. In May of 2016, a Fairbanks security officer named Jared Augustine captured video of strange lights in the sky, objects that split apart and reformed in ways he couldn't explain.
Oh, what is that? Oh, wow.
A strange flashing light suddenly split in three.
Whoa.
In 2003, electrician Charles Gaines worked at a remote lodge site south of Fairbanks, described seeing multiple lights flying in formation. accelerating rapidly, turning on impossible angles, and circling each other in what looked like coordinated maneuvers. Alaska's MUFON State Director Jesse Desmond uncovered a 1978 case involving hikers who camped on a ridge and awoke to see a UFO land in the valley below. When they trekked down to investigate, the craft was gone, but a swirling indentation was left in the grass.
Ooh, crab circle.
Crab circles, yeah. And scattered around it were mutilated animal carcasses, including moose, bears, caribou, and even a 15-foot killer whale.
Like, what the fuck? Like, the ocean is miles upon miles upon miles, like thousands of miles away. Why is there a killer whale in the middle of a fucking field?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Adding to the mystery is the presence of Fort Greely, a U.S. military installation just 38 miles from Mount Hayes. The base has its own share of bizarre reports, including sightings of unusually tall figures being moved beneath tarps between hangars, as witnessed by an internet contractor who once worked on the roof of one of the buildings. Some theorists believe this proximity isn't coincidence and speculate about possible collaboration between the military and the beings Price and others claim to have seen in the mountain. Officially, no scientific expedition has ever confirmed the existence of anything beneath Mount Hayes. Remote viewing remains controversial and is often dismissed by skeptics as imagination or subconscious projection. Still, declassified documents show the U.S. government invested significant money and time into psychic espionage programs, which only fuels speculation. Combine that with the isolation of Mount Hayes, reachable only by plane and rarely visited, as well as the region's thousands of UFO sightings and unexplained disappearances, and you get the perfect conditions for theories of an underground extraterrestrial base to thrive. Ultimately, Mount Hayes remains an enigma. The stories from remote viewers, the strange lights in the sky, the tales of mutilated animals, and the mountain's sheer untouchable remoteness make it one of the most compelling foundations for the Alaska Triangle conspiracies, which leads Rachel to her next question. Next day, which leads Rachel to her next question. What could UFOs be so attracted to in and around the Alaska Triangle? Like Rachel said, it could be just that the remote wilderness leaves fewer witnesses, leading to easier concealment, or it could be the extreme magnetic anomalies, or maybe this whole CIA Stargate remote viewing saga is bullshit and it's just Aurora Borealis and ionospheric activity which can create the illusion of unusual lights. Or what if it's a secret underground pyramid? Okay.
So, this is our last segment. Last but not least, another link to the extraterrestrial theory to explore is the dark pyramid hidden in the center of the Alaska Triangle. There's a whole ass pyramid, Joe.
They're everywhere. I have one.
Yeah, where is it located?
It's in my butt. It's in my big butt.
It's in your big butt.
Yeah.
The modern version of this story begins in 1992 with the Evening News. That year, China conducted a powerful underground nuclear test at Lop Nor. The detonation was so intense that seismic waves traveled through the Earth's crust and were detected by monitoring stations across the globe, including Alaska. According to Douglas A. Muchler, a U.S. Army counterintelligence warrant officer stationed at Fort Richardson, said that the Anchorage Channel 13 News aired a segment explaining how American seismologists had used those shock waves to find a subsurface structure beneath Alaska.
That's cool.
Isn't that dope? The report described a large geometric anomaly buried hundreds of feet underground in central Alaska. The shape, the scientists said, appeared to be a pyramid 4 times the size of the Great Pyramids of Giza.
Nice. Bigger's better. Texas-sized.
Bigger is better.
Yeah.
Muchler claims the broadcast showed a cross-sectional graphic with the pyramid clearly visible in proportion to surrounding geology. He immediately noticed something else. The location on the map matched a strange detail he had seen years later in his work studying maps.
Earlier.
Yeah, earlier. 1 year earlier. So in 1989, while studying maps of Alaska, Muchler had noticed a white, thumb-sized blank area in Denali National Park labeled, "This area not surveyed to date." In a state as thoroughly mapped as Alaska, especially during the Cold War, that made no fucking sense. Now, the pyramid, according to the news, appeared to sit right in that exact same spot that he noticed on the map. Weird.
It's perfect.
Muchler tried to record the 11 p.m. rebroadcast. Muchler tried to record the 11 p.m. rebroadcast, but it never aired again. When he contacted family members who were regularly watching the station, none of them remembered seeing the story. So he went directly to the station the next day with his credentials in hand, but the manager denied this segment ever existed.
Of course they did.
Yeah. It's weird, huh? So, like, I think it was around, like, 6 p.m. when he was watching this news broadcast with many other, like, people, too. He wasn't alone. And they were watching this segment about how, yeah, of course, China detonated a bomb and that seismologists found a pyramid. And he was like, oh my gosh, that is in the exact same spot I saw, like, a year ago on a map. And then he goes and it's not there anymore. And it didn't rebroadcast, which is weird. Right?
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that again, right?
Right. Yeah, that's not a crazy...
It wouldn't get good ratings.
New discovery, yeah. But as Muchler was leaving, a visibly shaken employee stopped him and quietly confirmed the story had aired. And shortly afterward, 2 men in suits arrived, confiscating the tapes, pulled the segment from rotation, and warned staff that the story involved national security, saying, forget it or face charges. Whether true or not, the detail becomes important later. So we got some Men in Black involved, right?
Duh.
In 1993, so a year after that aired, Muchler was transferred to the Fort Meade, Maryland, which is home of the NSA and one of the largest classified archival systems in the country. He befriended an archivist and casually asked about files related to archaeological anomalies in Alaska. The archivist wrote down and handed him reference numbers on a piece of paper. So then Muchler found the archives of Alaska with the numbers that the archivist gave him. And, Muchler took the files and sat down to read them. And as he was sitting down, 2 unidentified men appeared behind him and ordered him to leave immediately. They said that he was not allowed to read those documents. Muchler was like, oh, I'm just reading about archaeological sites in Alaska. It's nothing too crazy, right? Like, I'm just reading about the earth. And the men were like, we fucking know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you need to leave right now. Years later, in 2012, Muchler finally brought his story to investigative journalist Linda Moulton Howe. Okay, she's a big figure in the UFO community. She will probably come up again many, many times throughout this podcast. She is a figure well known for her work on UFOs, military secrecy, and government documents. Unlike many researchers, Howe demanded verification. She obtained Muchler's DD-214 military record and confirmed his service history. Once she reported the story publicly, something unusual happened. More people came forward.
More people became cum.
More people became cum.
Because previously there were people that became cum.
Yeah. Multiple accounts, unconnected to one another, described a similar experience stretching back to the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. One involved an engineer recruited by Western Electric and Bell Labs during the height of Cold War radar construction in Alaska. His name was known to be M.B. Johnson. I think there was like one document that had his signature, and that's what it said. But we don't know what M or B stands for. But Bell Labs is like I think it's the company that created like all of the new technology we have, like phones, things for cars. Like it's a pretty big company for all that jazz. He was flown to Unalakleet, that sounds right. He was flown to Unalakleet and placed on a bus with blacked out windows and then transported to a remote site way out near Mount McKinley, but he didn't know where he was at the time. Same thing, it's like Mount Denali, Mount McKinley, they kind of, I think they changed the name.
Oh, they changed the name to
Mount McKinley.
Mount McKinley.
Or now it's Mount Denali, I can't remember. But very strange. Like imagine just being told that you are going to go work on something top secret and you get into a bus with the windows completely blacked out. And they're in this bus for hours. And him and like other employees, like his coworkers, are all on this bus together in the dark.
Field trip.
Exactly.
Couldn't have been a limo.
Honestly, that's what I was thinking.
But up a mountain, I don't know about that.
You betcha.
You betcha.
So once they got to their location, he described to his son that he came out of the bus blinded by the white snow and the sun. Once he adjusted, he noticed what appeared to be a small concrete utility building with 2 men standing guard. Him and the rest of his colleagues who were on the bus entered the small building. And so M.B. Johnson told this story to his son, and his son retold this story to many people. So that's who we're hearing this from. It was his son. Which he comes back later as well, because he goes I think it's like 30 years later, he goes back to Mount McKinley and he searches all around the site and he tries to figure out if he can see anything.
How much later was that?
I think it's like 20 or 30 years later
Okay.
after this.
Yeah.
So inside the building that they were all in, it was literally like a small room where they all stood shoulder to shoulder. Then once the door was shut, they all felt the room descend. So it was an elevator.
Nice.
It descended for an uncomfortably long time. Uncomfortably.
I'm glad we got that pronunciation. I don't know if I would have understood what you said, so thank you.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
really appreciate that.
Yeah, so they were going down for a long time. Okay. At the bottom was a corridor that looked clean, finished, and unmistakably military. Johnson said he felt like he was on a tour of some kind following the lead of the mysterious place. As they were going along, they came upon a massive door, and it looked like this door was wide enough to fit 2 cars through it at the time, and it was made of metal, and it was a few feet thick, so it was a big boy. Beyond it, according to his son's testimony, stood a black stone pyramid, approximately 550 feet tall, buried nearly 700 feet underground, with an angle measured at 48 degrees exactly. Johnson stressed to his son that this 48-degree measurement is extremely important to know. So there's something going on with that measurement. Control rooms were positioned at each corner of the pyramid. Energy readings were taken constantly. No one claimed to understand how it worked, only that it did. Another account comes from 1978, including a retired Navy veteran who accepted an invitation from a U.S. Air Force helicopter crew for a classified delivery run. It's so funny because I was watching this video and they described it as like he was just like chatting with these people who were still working for the military and he like retired. And they're like, hey man, you know what? For old time's sake, why don't you just come along on this classified delivery run? It'll be a blast. Come on, man. Let's be best friends. Let's get ice cream together. Let's tell secrets. Let's have some pillow talk.
Oh, good. That's good. That's just the adult form of, you want to get in my van? There's some candy in there. Hey, kid.
Yeah, hey, for old time's sake, why don't you eat a lollipop?
Eat the lollipop.
Next time, make sure you eat the lollipop.
Eat the polylop.
The polylop.
Polylop.
Okay, so they went 2 hours east they went 2 hours east of Unalakleet, escorted by a fixed-wing aircraft. The helicopter approached a site where pilots warned all on board the electronics would fail. And they did. The radar went completely blank, compasses spun, artificial horizons failed. The aircraft switched to a visual flight only. The pilots were trained to fly manually, and they did not stress the malfunctions, and they landed safely. Isn't that weird? Like, they knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just
hey,
part
just so
it's
you
just
know.
part of the journey.
Yeah, it's just what's going to happen is that we're going to have our plane completely fail for the next 10 minutes. Don't worry.
But like we're trained to deal with that, so
Yeah.
we're good.
On the ground were armed personnel in unmarked black uniforms, mineshaft elevators surrounded by electrified razor wire, and heavy weapons trained on the helicopter. The pilots told the passenger what they had been briefed. The structure below was ancient, it was not nuclear, and it was not man-made. So this gets me thinking. I'm like, okay, so they obviously like went over the Alaska, like the Dark Pyramid, right? Because like
Yeah.
their equipment failed and maybe the energy fucked with it,
Yeah.
you know. And then they get there and they're like, all we're going to tell you is that what we are doing is we are studying a structure below that we did not make.
It might be a triangle, it might be a square, who knows? I don't. I'm not supposed to tell you. So, can you tell me? Can you tell me? Okay, tell me. Put it in my ear. Okay. Oh. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, continue.
So this unidentified structure below, it produced enough energy to power all of Alaska and most of Canada. Here's where the story becomes less mystical and more unsettling. During the Cold War, Alaska was saturated with radar systems like the White Alice and the Dew Line, designed to detect Soviet bombers over the Arctic. Site placement depended heavily on electromagnetic interference, so engineers routinely measured EMI to avoid distortion. According to a retired Navy captain who contacted Linda Moulton Howe, one location west of Mount Denali or Mount McKinley produced extreme EMI readings with no visible surface source, which is so strange. At first, the assumption would have been obvious, is that it's a Soviet underground device, right? Like, that's so obvious. It has to be that.
Or it could be alien underground device from a big triangle.
Yes. But after digging revealed something else, a massive stone structure emitting energy. And that's all I could really find of this testimony given to Linda Moulton Howe. So that was the testimony she gave. So from her own lips. Over time, multiple witnesses independently pointed to the same region, roughly 60 miles west of Mount Denali. And we have the coordinates, but please do not go there, because you will die, most likely.
Here's the location.
A civilian pilot flying with Bruce Pearson, which was the son of the one witness we were talking about, later described seeing straight line land cuts, also an unmapped road, and an overgrown airstrip over 100 miles from any official infrastructure. So that's what they found.
So, wow, okay, that's...
Yeah, so his son was like, we're going to go search for this thing. They go searching, and they drive, or they don't drive. They fly around Mount Denali, and they find this, like, random, perfect straight line in the middle of the wilderness. And, like, nature doesn't... It's very rare that, you know, nature creates straight lines like that. And it was, like, overgrown. Like, the trees were way taller than that, you know. So it looked like a plain strip.
Yeah.
You know?
It's probably what it was.
Yeah. And then there was also, like, a big, huge, like, square-looking, like, patch. And then there was an unmarked road that was not on any map, which is really weird. Okay, and then in May 2020, a man named Nathan Campbell decided to see for himself. He's a regular civilian. He was very experienced, he was well equipped, and he was very cautious when he was going. He chartered a plane to drop him near Carey Lake, just miles from the alleged site. He brought 4 months of supplies and a satellite communicator to stay in touch with his family. He planned to be there for 4 months from May until December. But by mid-June, the messages stopped. Search teams found his campsite intact. No signs of struggle, no blood, no damage, only a journal. And the final entry read,
Went to get water.
he went to go get water. Nathan Campbell has never been found. So some theories go further into remote viewing or non-human entities and claim that the pyramid acts as a charging station for UFOs. Alaska is, after all, one of the most active UFO hotspots in the world. This is where responsible skepticism matters. Remote viewing cannot be fully verified, but there still is a lot of room for practice and study. UFO correlations do not prove causation either. Military witnesses, especially from intelligence backgrounds, are not immune to misinformation, intentional or otherwise. In other words, we could have had a few whistleblowers here in this story. Even Douglas Muchler's timeline contains inconsistencies. Details and emails changed when he sent emails back and forth with Linda Moulton Howe. Some claims about international notifications don't align with historical records. I believe so when Muchler said that the segment aired with the news saying that the seismologist found the pyramid, he said that the news stated that the detonation happened like 2 months before it actually did. So that's what I'm saying. It's where it's like there's misinformation with what things happen, and he's like, no, it did happen on this day, and it didn't. You know, I don't have exact dates, but that's what I mean with that. The Chinese nuclear test was real. The seismic imaging can reveal underground anomalies. So what are we left with? Either this is a sprawling myth built from misremembered broadcasts, secondhand stories, and the human hunger for mystery, or there is something buried beneath Alaska that has never been publicly acknowledged. A structure so old it doesn't fit our timeline. So powerful it interferes with modern technology. And so secret that even its accidental discovery had to be erased. The Dark Pyramid may not be real, but oh God, I hope it is.
I hope it is too.
Yeah?
And I won't fly an airplane above it because I don't know how to land it manually.
I think I just believe that it happens and that in my dreams I will just go and visit it.
Yeah. Boy, that was a doozy, even though I've only been sitting here for 15 minutes this time around.
Yeah, we had to like split the episode up a little bit.
Well, we got so tired that night, and then
Yeah.
it was like, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. And then 2 weeks later, we're like, okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
But there's definitely something strange going on in the Alaska Triangle, and I want to go visit. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool to go to some of those sites. Like, it would be cool to go to that little town in Alaska where the Bigfoot is.
Port Chatham,
Port Chatham.
Port Lock, whatever.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of my favorite topics in the Alaska Triangle was Port Lock. Port Lock was really interesting, and the Dark Pyramid was really interesting to go down that rabbit hole because I found like Linda Moulton Howe's like website, and she had all of Douglas Muchler's emails on there that he sent to her, and I like read through all of them, and they'll definitely be in our sources page probably in the show notes or wherever we'll put them that you can go check out for yourself. That was really fun to look into. Also, the Japanese airline flight was really interesting as well because I believe him. Like, I think that they did experience UFOs.
Yeah.
And for how large that thing is compared to the plane was insane.
Well, I think all of the reasons for them to debunk it were just complete fucking bullshit. That's less believable than what actually happened.
Yeah, and then like right after that, he was how do I word this? He was pretty much sent to do a desk job for many years right after that. Like they demoted him.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh no, we just do that. It's like a routine like thing we have to do with every pilot, you know? We just go through them because there's just so many of them."
It's funny, like just all the things, all the damage control they do to try and cover up what's actually going on. They clearly had been found out, and then they make decisions to cover it up that make it even more clear that they've been found out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, come on.
Yeah. But
It's
with
just-
like sorry, what?
No, nothing.
Just with all of the evidence that's in the Alaska Triangle, yeah, like majority of it could be fake or just folklore or legend. But with all of it, there has to be some sort of truth over there, you know? And for it being so close to Aurora Borealis and where it's placed on the Earth, like there has to be something scientific that we can study, that some real strange energies are roaming about up there, you know?
Yeah.
And it makes me, you know, happy to see that there's so much science that went behind it. And it makes me more motivated to learn more about all the high strangeness goop.
Agreed. But I think I can't wait to do more stuff later on. Of course, this is the finale of our season.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to format stuff going forward, but we'll talk about that at a later date. But I can't wait to reference this and all of the things, missing persons, the Bigfoot, the beaver man. Is it a beaver? Is it a beaver?
Otterman.
Otterman, that's what it is. Otterman. Sorry, it's been a couple weeks since we. That's
No, it's good.
But I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, this stuff is my jam. I read about this stuff constantly. And this is like our first like big episode on a lot of the like high strangeness community topics.
Yeah.
So, you know, leave your thoughts down in the comments below and let us know what you think about all this stuff, and if you believe it, or if you have any more information you want to share, let us know.
Yeah. Guys, please send in listener lore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask again. We do have more that have come in, which we appreciate.
Really, like, we just want you guys to, you know, get featured, and we'd love to get to know you guys more. That's why it's called Listener Lore. It's because I want to know your lore.
Let's let everybody
So-
else learn about you too, you know, not just us two, but everybody else who's listening too,
Yeah.
you know.
Super fun. Also give us a good rating and or review, or subscribe on YouTube. You can rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And, you know, let us know what you think.
Give me attention.
Also, you can email us at houseofhighstrangeness@gmail.com for any topics you'd like us to cover. If you want us to look more into something specific, let us know.
Or if you want to just say what's up,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
We also have our Instagram, House of High Strangeness podcast, or I think it's just House of High Strangeness. Go follow us there, and
Yeah, it'll be tagged in whatever link you're listening to.
there's a lot of funny goop on there. We've also been thinking about doing fun like YouTube videos, like basic random shit, like
Yeah, just, you know, stupid little 10-minute videos of us just goofing off.
yeah. So I don't know, if you like us, I guess you could just go over and watch those fun things too. I mean, it's not all about high strangeness. I mean, we're strange in and of itself, so you can just watch that and witness that and just, you know, be our friends if you just want, if you like us. I
We're a
don't
little
know.
weird. I'm a weirdo.
Like, I feel like I do a lot of the talking, but I feel like Joe is the personality of this podcast. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. That was a compliment.
That was a compliment, I think.
Okay, well, I
Guys.
mean, it's probably going to be a few weeks until we post again.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know when we're going to continue, but we're going to.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
thing.
I have so many episodes I'm working on right now. It just takes a long
Yeah.
time to do because it is just me and Joe doing this podcast.
Yep. So I'm going to, you know, you're seeing this now, and we're filming this way before the now that you're in. So
In the now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna edit and then give it to you, and then after that we'll probably give something else to you because we just like to give. We're just giving people.
Yeah.
We're just giving people.
Also, you know, is there anything else you'd like to say?
You want me to, are you cutting me off? Is that what
Yeah, I
you're doing?
kind of
Okay.
want you to shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay. So just make sure that when you're trying to get to where you're supposed to be after this, that you're safe. And when you do it, just be there. Okay. Fucking shit.
Well-
yeah. But make sure you walk, drive, fly, teleport, beam home safely, and we'll catch you whenever we see you.
Can we end this with your beautiful cat impression?
Okay. It's been a long day. I'm kind of fried.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
I'm just gonna lay naked in my bed.
Are you having a good time? Yes. Oh, it's okay. It's so cute that she's just been sitting here the entire time.
So cute.
She doesn't even know that the whole world is gonna see her.
You're such a squishy. People are gonna remember you too.
I know the part where I was like, ah.